Welcome to this Division 1 Senior Men's Grand Final in the NTFA competition. St Pat's and Old Scotch. And in the previous game in the reserves, it was Old Scotch who got over St Pat's. So the daily double in here this afternoon with Old Scotch and St Pat's. And joining me in commentary will be Rick Fontaine. He's currently out on the ground. We'll be doing all the pre-match work for us, and also in special comments, Rob Soward. Rob, welcome to you, and well done on your call of the reserves grand final with Matthew Chatwin. And this one's got a bit of spice in it, I think.
Okay, if I could invite the umpires and Old Scotch and St Pat's, please, to line up.
Let's go with Rick. We'll talk about how spicy it'll be in just a moment. We'll just keep an eye on Rick because we want to have all this and capture all this with everything, with the teams as they come together. Rick marshalling the troops down there, and the umpires now coming in together, the players locking arms, and we'll get this part of the pre-match out of the way.
The exciting thing, Michael, with that is that it's only going to get spicier. Those spices are just going to get spicier. So I look forward to chatting with you shortly. But This is terrific. Let's just enjoy this right now.
Could be a few herbs in there as well. Here's Rick.
Okay, thanks very much, ladies and gentlemen. Time now for our pre-game before our senior grand final, and it's a great pleasure to welcome onto UTAS Stadium two legends from their respective clubs. Firstly, from St Pat's, we've got Kevin Quigley, a Hall of Fame member, legend of St Pat's, and their official timekeeper for 35 years. And also from Old Scotch, Matt Harvey, played in 6 grand finals, 5 times a premiership player, 3 as a captain, and a life member of the Old Scotch Collegians Football Club. So can we please give a big welcome to our two club legends, Kevin Quigley and Matt Harvey. They come out with the Premiership Cup. Thank you very much, gentlemen. And I now invite the two captains, Johnny Swallow from Old Scotch and Tom Hilder from St Pat's, to come forward, please. And for the official coin toss to be performed by NTFA board member Jenny Jones. So tails was the call by Jonty, and Old Scotch will kick to the northern end, St Pat's to the city end in the first quarter. So ladies and gentlemen, I'd ask you now please all to be upstanding, firstly for the Welcome to Country, and that'll be followed by the National Anthem.
Ligina Lutruwita. For thousands of years, Aborigines have remained connected to country. Our old people harvested the land, our warriors hunted a landscape shaped by traditional fire, and our women gathered resources to provide for their family group. Back then, we walked the many tracks across the northern Midlands that led us to the head of the Cunnamulla Tamar River. Today, those tracks are lined by buildings, and the landscape, once adorned by trees and grassy plains, are fewer. Warranta Lumi. We are here. Our culture is alive.
Australians, all let us rejoice, for we are one and free. With golden soil and wealth of toil, our home is good by sea. Our land abounds in nature's gifts.
very much, everyone. Good luck to both teams.
Rick Fontaine doing all the work downstairs there for us as we get ready for this grand final. As I mentioned, Michael Maney with you along with Rob Soward, and Rick Fontaine will come up from ground level to commentate this game. As we said just before, Rob, it's going to be a bit spicy. St Pat's beat Lilydale in the preliminary by 33 points. Bennett got 5 and they shared a couple of goals around. In the second semi, Old Scotch beat St Pat's, and that was by 22 points. So plenty to prove here if you're a St Pat's person. They've got the job ahead of them. Old Scotch have been a force this year.
Yeah, they have, Michael. Undefeated, Old Scotch, throughout the season. But that second semi-final that you referenced, that 22-point victory, very, very fiery encounter, which obviously then led to the Lasky suspension, and then obviously that overturned and so on. So there's certainly some animosity, I know, today, but also from a Scotch perspective. You and I were here with Rick last year. St Pat's went into that grand final hot favourites that had a terrific season. Scotch had their chances, kicked poorly. I think it'd be fair to say St Pat's win the game. So a replay of last year's grand final and some old scores to be settled.
Yeah, no doubt about that. They rely on Claridge to kick some goals. Will St Pat's, but this is going to be a ripper of a game. In round 2, Old Scotch by 12 points, but in round 11, Old Scotch by 54 points, and then it peeled back to that 22-point margin in the second semi-final. But the spice will be there, as we said a few moments ago. But every grand final has got a little bit of that, and we'll see how the two teams go about it. As I said, Michael Maney with you in commentary this afternoon, along with Rick Fontaine and Rob Soward. The players are getting themselves sorted out. There's a lot of handshaking going on out there at the moment, but I can tell you, once that ball is bounced, there won't be too much love in the room for either side. They will go at it really hard in this grand final, the 2023 Division 1 men in the senior competition grand final. So all in readiness. We're just waiting for everything to be signed off. A little bit of push and shove in the St Pat's forward line. And here we go. The grand final is underway. Up they go. St Pat's might just go forward. Jacob Lasky might win a free kick from that exchange. And he was knocked to ground, so no, it'll be a ball up. So up they go. Jake Kilby in the ruck. Quick kick inside 50. Old Scotch doing okay. Little handball coming out as they sort themselves out. Scrubby old ball from half back, and the boundary umpire will... he was going to grab the footy, but the umpire said insufficient intent. So the free kick there will go to Zeke Johnson of St Pat's. And they move forward again through Jacob Lasky. Kept it close to the line, but his teammate there in Jake Cairns couldn't quite get there, and it'll be a boundary throw-in. Welcome to you, Rick Fontaine. You're up from official duties.
Yes. Great to be with you, Rob and Michael. And they say when you hit 50, the fitness levels drop. I can attest to that because it's a fair walk up here to level 4. But what a great day and a great setting, and a very vocal crowd between these two big rivals.
I'll let you get your breath before we bring you in as the ball is thrown in. Old Scotch really having to work hard here. It's going to be a physical encounter, no doubt. Opportunity right in front of us for Zeke Johnston, I should say, and that ball has buffeted out. So a little bit of push and shove so far. We haven't seen anything to really raise an eyebrow just at the moment, but off the ball there's a bit happening. So the ball in. Ruckman do battle, reach over the top. Quick kick out of there was by Dark. Now marked by Johnston. He kicks inside forward 50. Old Scotch will come away. Nice kick toward the wing. It might just favour St Pat's here. He couldn't take the mark, and that was Lawrence. They go back in hard after it again. No one's got real clean possession in this game so far. Big tackle there on Joshua Matthews. Ball goes close to the line and will be a boundary throw. And what have you spotted so far, Rob? Anything to report?
Oh, look, I think as you've touched on, it's just that settling period, isn't it? But I'll be really interested to keep an eye on the work they put into Fletcher Seymour. Big acquisition for Scotch this year and very important to them.
So on the centre wing in front of the main grandstand, a chance here for Aidan Jackman now as he kicks it towards 50. His direct opponent looks to be wearing Jake Lasky, the St Pat's coach. And he got that inside, but the ball's been turned over. Oh, and a bit of a fumble. Good work there from Charlie Eastoe. And a terrific smother. And an opportunity here for St Pat's now to come forward, this time through Brown. And on acres of space. And they'll kick inside 50. Do St Pat's. Beats all comers over the top. It's going to be a foot race. Gathered beautifully. Opportunity here for Harper. Harper kicks it. Great start for St Pat's. Picked it up very cleanly, Rob Soward, and St Pat's at the 3-minute mark have got the first goal. They lead 1 straight 6. Scotch yet to score.
Yeah, you just get that impression. They just weren't quite settled in defence in Scotch. And when that ball got over the back, as you said, Rick, it was going to be a foot race. Fortuitous bounce, but great play there from Harper to get St Pat's off to a terrific start.
Yeah, just knew how to sniff a goal there, did Harper. And just ran his full measure and hit it from point-blank range. So an early goal to St Pat's as they reload again. Kilby in the ruck. It's knocked down, taken away, beautifully done by Seymour. You can see the talent, goes long, getting back, no mark by Hay. He's got to go back in again, got the long sleeves on. Beautiful day in Launceston at UTAS Stadium. Hay again, free kick, is it? Umpire's paid it. It's going to Old Scotch. And a bit of a dump on Eastoe back there, but nothing happening. So it looks like Seymour, is it? Has got it? No.
I think you find it's the captain, Jonty Swallow, who's got the ball.
It is, the number 10. So Jonty Swallow from, 25 metres out. Probably a bit less than that, maybe 20. So Jonty Swallow to level things up, stabs at it. Goal umpire said, I reckon you've got it on target, and they have. So the responding goal comes very swiftly from Old Scotch. Both teams on 1 goal apiece, so goals to Swallow and Harper in the first quarter.
The thing that this is going to bring, we talked about Fletcher Seymour earlier and a couple of changes they've had. When we called this corresponding game last year, Old Scotch struggled to score. I think Charlie Eastoe basically kicked most of their score, and he's a very smart, small forward. But Johnny Swallow being able to go forward there, Fletcher Seymour's inclusion, it certainly creates that depth in the side that perhaps they didn't have.
So today's coverage brought proudly by Jeremy Wilkinson from Harcourts Launceston, Tasmania's leading agent for the last 5 years. Great to have his support, and special comments here from Rob Soward. So back in the centre, ideal conditions, a little bit of breeze. There's Mackenzie, and he may get a free kick here. The MVP for 2023 is judged by the coaches. Had a terrific year, the vice-captain, John Mackenzie. Here's Swallow, been busy early, the skipper. He'll load up directly in towards the forward pocket railway side. A little bit of a nudge there. And picked up by umpire Shepherd as well. Push in the back. And it's going to be a free kick. Not too far out, probably just 20 metres out. And no, it's coming back. It's actually going to Charlie Eastoe. So Eastoe will take the free kick. Hands in the back. And he's going to kick from 20, 25 metres out. So pretty much identical to where Swallow just kicked his goal. 6 minutes played, opening term. It's a goal apiece. On the left, Eastoe straight over the goal umpire's head. And a couple in 2 minutes for Scotch. And they lead it 2 straight 12 to 1 straight 6 here at UTAS Stadium. Division 1 Grand Final.
Yeah, look, we were just talking about what a clever player he is, and that highlights that. But come back to the centre of the ground during the call. You referenced John Mackenzie, winner of the award during the year. Look, John, highly credentialed player, played in the VFL, played for the Tassie Mariners. He's certainly highly skilled, and he just showed there that takeaway, setting his teammate up further afield.
Charlie Eastoe, been a goal kicker for them over a couple of years now, so back in the centre. St Pat's trying to break through there through Tepper. A little bit slippery on the surface a little bit. Now away they go through Mackenzie now. So Mackenzie, how does he use that football? He used it brilliantly, and Easto's taken another mark. And then he gives Hay one to go on with. And Easto really looking Rob Soward as a big danger up there.
Yeah, look, he almost won the game off his own boot last year as a small forward. I think they kicked 4 goals, and he kicked 4. He kicked all the goals. So this is a terrific start from him. He's a confidence player, but very, very smart, and you saw that there. Terrific lead and mark.
Pretty handy cricketer too.
Yeah, can play.
Charlie Easto played for the Raiders, I think, the Greater Northern Raiders. Here he is from about 40, directly in front. Might have just pushed that away to the left. So Old Scotch lead the contest by 7 points. They're 2-1-13. St Pat's 1 straight 6.
Just ticked over 8 minutes in the first quarter. Good kick in. Just inside the boundary line. Beautiful conditions. Splattering of crowd over on the railway side, but the big crowd has built up on the members' side, the Invermay Road side. And that ball's not going anywhere. And we're going to get a ball up. True centre wing position. If you've just joined us, Deloraine took out Division 1 Women's a little bit earlier today, and a great contest in the reserves with Old Scotch getting home in a thriller against St Pat's. The loose man there in Lawrence. Strong tackle. Swallow gets it all. Bit of a, don't know, a bit, not sure about that. He might have played for that one a little bit there, did Aidan Jackman, but he will get the free kick. Being brought around by umpire Shepherd. Our field umpires today, Bailey, Shepherd and Brown. And on the boundary, Ford, Stonehouse, Wiggins and Anderson. And we've got Hodge and Brewer in the goal. So well done to them for getting a grand final here this afternoon. He might fancy his chances here, Rob. He's getting very close to the man on the mark. He's going to go short now. And it's not going to hit the target. And missing Matthew Duggan by a fair bit and out of bounds around 40 metres out.
Wasted opportunity in some ways, wasn't it, that one?
Yeah, I don't know what he was trying. He was in 2 minds, I think. He got very close to the man on the mark. I think he was probably looking to want to go short, but might have confused himself a little bit. So, ball in. Ruckman, do battle again. Swallow at the bottom of the pack. Gets it out, but a chance now for St Pat's to break away. Bounce. Goes over everyone. First to the ball should be Conway. His hair might be a bit longer than last year. He just lost me then for a minute. Ethan Conway, very good player he is too. And the ball is out of bounds. So 2-1-13, Old Scotch. Kicked the last couple. St Pat's a goal. Not a great deal of breeze to speak of. You missed the flags not being up here, actually. We see with AFL, but it is a slight breeze heading towards the northern end that Old Scotch are kicking to, but not too much. A bit of a stalemate here. Speaking of not too much, Michael Matey.
Not too much of me today. It's windsocks blowing. There's one lone windsock down the other end, and it is blowing heavily toward the left of the screen, the northern end. So here goes Old Scotch inside 50, and mark taken. Away they go again. Little left foot kick is really good, and it finds our man who Jackman, who wants to play on this time, goes to the pocket and was looking for his teammate in Connor Bryant, but he couldn't take the mark. It rolls out of play. It'll be a boundary throw in. So every team that's played today that have won the toss have gone to left of screen to the northern end today. That win just probably worth a few goals, maybe.
Anyone ever in doubt should watch Trent Cochin against Port Adelaide, I reckon. You always run with the wind.
He went against it there once, I think.
He did, yeah.
Here we go. Old Scotch through Keach. High kick. Ball thumped away. Opportunity. Duggan squeezes the kick out, but it is a behind. So 8 points the margin now. Duggan gets on the scoreboard as far as general scores go, but 2-2-14. Old Scotch, St Pat's 1 straight 6, and that kick just hit the target.
It
Hilda.
did. Yep, Lawrence with the kick in there, and the skipper gets it. So come around the grandstand side here, and Lux of Fortune with the bounce. Well, maybe it's not now because it's eluded everyone, but it's gone out of bounds before Matthews from Old Scotch could get his hands on the pill, and we'll have a boundary throw in just in the attacking half for Old Scotch.
Scotch are setting up really, really well in that defence. They're proving really hard for St Pat's to get through there, aren't they?
Indeed, they are. And it was a bright start for St Pat's, but certainly the play with Old Scotch over the last 5 or so minutes. And Fletcher Seymour showing his class. He just got out of that very easily. Beautiful use of the body, 2-on-1. St Pat's have got to be careful here that it doesn't spill over the back, but it's going to beat all comers. And no, it's coming back. Free kick. Didn't quite pick what that was for, but it's going the way of Matthew Williams, who goes out to the outer side of the ground, looks for and finds his teammate in Cairns. Cairns, he'll come in short. Oh, and the mark spilled, and it was a sitter as well. You don't want this fella getting it. Fletcher Seymour from 48. It's away to the right and through for behind there. Peppering Rob Soward, 2-3-15, 1 straight 6.
Yeah, look, as an old football coach, you want to see you take those opportunities early, particularly as Michael said earlier, at the start of a grand final. You want to capitalise on those opportunities. You don't be ruining them, as we did see in the earlier game. So all Old Scotch at the moment.
Long kick right up the centre of the ground. This might just be okay for them as they go forward. St Pat's, there's a man out the back here. And he's the man who kicked the first goal. He might get a second. He's just ridden into the ground. And the umpire said, that's okay. I'm sure that would have been a free kick on the wing. But that player there was Kyle Harper. And behind us St Pat's. So that, for all love and money, Rick Fontaine, I know in your days as an umpire, you probably would have given that.
Probably would have. But the fans on the ground thought the same. But umpire's a lot closer. And it's play on, the behind registered, so it's an 8-point lead here to Old Scotch. We're approaching the 14-minute mark of the opening term of the 2023 Division 1 Grand Final. Also thank you to MCMF, great partner of the NTFA, Murdoch Clark Mortgage Fund in Launceston and Hobart. And great to have a new sponsor on board, the Athlete's Foot there in the Brisbane Street Mall out here today as well, and giving vouchers for the best player on the ground, which we greatly appreciate. So the kick forward here by McFarlane, Ollie McFarlane. Forward, and a chance here for St Pat's to build. Short kick in the centre misses the mark just. Zeke Johnston couldn't get it. Loose man over the back. They'll need to be quick. Big kick long towards the teeth of goal. I reckon it's going to go all the way. It is. Kicked by, I think it was Jake King, number 9. Kicked it from just outside 50, Rob, against the wind. So decent purchase, and it's 2-3-15. St Pat's 2-1-13. They created the loose man and finished off beautifully by King.
Yeah, look, worrying signs if you're an Old Scotch supporter, and certainly I'm sure Brayley Coombs will address it on their bench. They get opened up really easy with a quick transition ball. We saw that a moment ago where the player you called Harper got ridden into the ground. Probably should have got a free kick. But again, that time, that quick ball movement, they got caught out. So certainly positive sides there for St Pat's.
Couple of points the difference now. Up they go in the ruck. Mitchell Bennett is in there. Mackenzie got onto his left. He's a classy player, Mackenzie. Left foot, right foot, doesn't matter. Here's an opportunity for them. Here's Kilby. Kilby kicks long and straight. Wonderful goal by Kilby. They reply very, very quickly. And Old Scotch 3-3-21, St Pat's 2-1-13. Might have been Sam Briggs, was it? Connor Bryant. It was Connor Bryant. So Connor Bryant gets the goal. Just a quick look down at my notes, and haven't seen too much of these players, but Old Scotch 3-3-21, St Pat's 2-1-13.
Yeah, just exactly what Old Scotch would need there. That quick reply, keeping the pressure on their St Pat's opponents.
Got a game on our hands here. Bright start to this grand final. I think the bounce has disappeared. Am I right in saying? We're balling it up. And it's going to favour St Pat's as they come forward inside 50. Karen's there. Could pick it up. Scotch. Bit of time in defence. Comes out wide. Mark should be taken. It is. Nice mark there by McFadgen. So, man on man here, St Pat's. Kick up the wing. And that dropping back and taking a fine mark. There's the left footer in Lawrence. Nice delivery. There's not many bad left footers in football, Rob Soward, is there?
No, they look like
they
always
look great, don't they? Yep.
Yeah.
Kick inside 50. Going to have to come over the back. Couldn't quite grab it there. Could King, who kicked the last goal for St Pat's. Kicked off the ground. Again, the dry conditions are grounding great Nick. The ball is presenting a few problems with the bounce because it's just bouncing so much. Hits the ground now. Here's a chance for St Pat's. Coming inside 50. It's a good-looking kick. The mark just couldn't be taken by Cairns again. Plenty of soldiers in defence here for Scotch, but a good little zone defence here from, as you can see, with off the screen there for St Pat's, and they held it up quite well there. Got numbers back. Ball out towards centre wing. Opportunity for the big man in Young. Lobs a kick along the railway side, close to the boundary. Here's Vandenberg. Can he keep it in? He does. No, he doesn't. Out of bounds. So we've just ticked on almost 18 minutes played in the opening quarter. And it's the Thistles, the favourites, undefeated for the season, leading the way by 8 points.
I think in the first quarter last year it was St Pat's 3-3-21. Old Scotch didn't score. So that was... they've reverted that. Both teams have scored in this first term. So Old Scotch trying to go forward. No one can get it clearly out of there. Ball just kicked off the ground. Close to the line. And it's taken there.
Probably the difference to last year. Scotch have controlled the ball better this year. As you said, didn't score. But they've been in control. I mean, if I was coaching them, I'd probably be a little disappointed that they've only got 3 goals. They've certainly had the ball in their forward line.
Yeah, they've looked pretty good when ball in hand. There's Vandenberg. Kicks. Ooh, that took a lot of courage. And that man in Perkins is... he's hurt himself too. He's had the stuffing taken out of him, I think. And what's he going to do? He'll probably try and give this off to someone, or has he got enough puff left? Did well and got it to Tepper. So Tepper goes out wide. Was that a mark? Umpire didn't blow it. No. Ball caught underneath. Still a chance for St Pat's. A little kick down the line to Cairns. So Cairns now will loft it inside 50. He's hoping for a mark, but gee, it's all Old Scotch here. They could raffle it there, and the mark taken by McFarlane. McFarlane goes out wide and finds his man out there in Duggan.
Duggan now onto the right boot, sprays it a little bit, and that's going to go out of bounds. Some of the St Pat's players wanting deliberate, but sometimes, Rob, players just kick the ball badly.
Yeah, that was a good example of that too, Rick. He didn't hit his target at all there, young Duggan, and he's usually not too bad by foot, so he'd be disappointed with that.
So just about to tick into time on in the opening term. Thanks to Jeremy Wilkinson, Harcourt's Launceston. Been a great opening quarter. Even Stevens here, just 8 points in it. As the ball there, no man's land almost. A little bit of time there to pick it up is Hay. Been around the club a long time. Chris Hay, reliable defender. Not a great kick there. Here's Miller. Looking for his teammate there in Henry Cornish, who gets upended. Nothing doing. Boundary throwing. Good decision. I think it was just in the contest for the ball over there on the railway side of the ground. And just to tell you what, the most noise is being made by the Meander Valley boys. They didn't win a game this year in Division 1. They came out here bright and early to support the girls in the grand final, and they're having a great afternoon. Kick up in towards the forward pocket, sharking the ball beautifully. Rove there. He waited in position, and that was Connor Bryant, who's kicked 1 goal in the quarter. Here's Vandenberg. Nice little handball there. Looks for and finds his teammate in Claridge. But sprays the kick. Does Claridge. Cornish in short. Good kick. Finds his teammate in Duggan. Matthew Duggan. He'll kick it towards 15 metres out. 2-on-1. Sharking the ball. Picked up by Conway. And St Pat's will come away. But we're going to have a shot on goal here. There was a disappointing kick once again. And it ends up in the arms of Fletcher Seymour.
What a handy pickup he's been.
Hasn't he?
Fletcher
Coming across
Seymour
from Launceston in the TSL.
Highly decorated, I think, best and fairest winner, triple premiership player, and all, I think, 25, 26 years of age.
Yep, here he comes. He'll kick from about 40 out. Bit up and under, but he's going to not quite have the legs there. Not his best kick. Oh, Chow couldn't pick it up. That was Matthews. Still trying to pick it up, and here come the cavalry from St Pat's, and away they come out on the railway side now towards the boundary.
Cairns in front there for St Pat's, just got to the fall of the ball pretty nicely, and then his kick went up, but the umpire's paid a free kick. It's off the ball, and it's going to St Pat's, and that's going to Jacob Lasky. So Lasky will take this free kick, a true centre-half back for St Pat's. So Lasky now goes to a long lead. King was in front, and then the man who tried to claim it back there was Sam Briggs. The ball goes toward Conway, got a bad bounce. He might just receive it here again. Attacking it really well was Tepper. It was in fact Jackman for Old Scotch. And a little bit of rough and tumble, but Conway's got the free kick. We've gone 22, almost 23 minutes in the first term. Conway with a real old helicopter inside 50. He might just work here for St Pat's as they crash all the way through. And that was Nicholas Miller. Now back out. How do they extract themselves from this as Josh Dark kicks it long? Was he dealt with after he'd kicked it? And the free kick down the ground to Old Scotch.
He's a courageous player, Dark. I mean, he's just long servant here at the club and rewarded for effort there.
Swallow with the downfield free kick. Yeah, just holding up play here. It's an 8-point lead to Old Scotch. Closing stages of the opening term here at UTAS Stadium, and that's a disappointing kick, and in fact it's out of bounds on the full. So 23 and a half minutes played here in the opening term. 3-3-21. It leads 2-1-13 in favour of Old Scotch. Kicking is short, and Lasky, he made a bright start. Rob, been a bit quiet the last 10-15 minutes. The St Pat's coach, of course, best on ground in the grand final last year as well.
He lit it up last year, didn't he?
He did, and that's a terrible kick. In fact, it almost went out of bounds on the full over the fence. Missed a couple of weeks ago in the preliminary final last week for suspension, and challenged the other reportable offence and had it downgraded. Hence, he is available for the grand final today.
Strange things happen this time of the year, Rick, don't they?
John McKenzie with the ball. He goes short, and plenty of space here for Jock Dark on the true centre wing position. Outer side of the ground. Plenty of play on that side in the opening term. Goes short as well. Disappointing kick, and it's taken there by the skipper for St Pat's, Hilda. Maybe one more chance now. They've got a loose man over the top here. Here's a chance now for Dodds. Kicks it towards half forward, and nice little bit of use of the ball, and they're going to come away with it here. It might be King. Look at that for a kick. Oh, he might have gone over the line and kicked that goal. I think the goal umpire's picked it up. I am sure he has played on. Yep. He took the mark inside the line, played on, but didn't realise he crossed the line before kicking it. Yeah. Oh, that's a let-off for Old Scotch.
We're only looking here with the naked eye, but that's the correct decision for mine.
The NTFA arc is not working today, as I've been reliably informed. We'd love to have another look at that, but a long kick out, and it'll be taken here by the number 16 in Dougal Morrison. He looks like a Dougal too, doesn't he? Looks like a true Dougal. There he goes. Kicks high to the wing. A lot of St Pat's numbers in and around that. Mackenzie for Old Scotch can't get through. The kick is really high by Keach of Old Scotch, and then Hay just kills it to the line. Boundary throw in. Almost 26 minutes gone first term in the grand final of Division 1 of the NTFA, and it is Old Scotch 3-3-21, St Pat's 2-2-14, boundary throw in. Another chance for Old Scotch. They're just outside their attacking 50, as you can see, and the ruckman to do battle. Vandenberg got involved in all of that. Loose ball into the middle, so Perkins did nicely. Little handball away, beautifully done towards Tepper. Paved away for Johnston. So Johnston's kick was touched off the boot. Lasky's there. Missed it. Oh, fortuitously. Here's an opportunity. Or is it going to be the advantage paid?
No,
and it's got to come back.
It has to be advantage.
I mean, I think you've got to pay advantage. Otherwise...
Well, the play continued on, didn't it?
Yep.
I mean, there was no stoppage. No one stopped. Rob, how do you see it?
No, I felt that was advantage play on. So... But again, coming back to that point, while we're just waiting for this to be replayed, coming back to that point, every time they move the ball forward, St Pat's, they catch Scotch out of position. Another example there. The example with the goal that was a point, same deal. I'd be worried if I was Scotch about that. They've got to fix that up.
Well, Lasky who set the goal up, has got to go back and have a shot. So here we go. I think the siren's gone for quarter time. This will be a big goal. He's got to run in a straight line. He's got a good piece of it. It's a good-looking kick. It's hit the woodwork. Well, that is criminal if you're a St. Pat's fan. And Lasky denied the goal. But at the end of the quarter, it is a 6-point margin in the grand final with Old Scotch 3-3-21, St. Pat's 2-3-15. And goal kickers for Old Scotch, Swallow, Eastoe and Bryant. And for St. Pat's, King and Harper are the goal scorers. Rob Soward for the stream, the NTFA stream today, brought to you by Harcourts and Jeremy Wilkinson, who's been a pretty prolific real estate agent 5 years in a row.
He has. Fantastic supporter of local sport as well. Look, pretty even start. Again, positives for both sides. I think Old Scotch would be really, really pleased with the amount of possession that they had of the football. That said, that Windsock's doing its thing up there, so that's clearly the end that the wind's favouring. From a St. Pat's perspective, they'd be really pleased with just the way they could break out and use that football once they got it inside 50 and catch Scotch out of position. From a negative perspective, guys, I'd be disappointed from an Old Scotch viewpoint that they wasted some opportunities. I think that they certainly left a couple of goals out there. From St. Pat's, something that they would want to fix up. They'd want to fix up just how, at will, I guess, Scotch took the ball forward. So, things there for both coaches.
All right, thoughts from Rob Sow. Quarter time here. We're going to take a quick break. It's Old Scotch 3-3-21, leading the way by a goal from St. Pat's 2-3-15. Back with the second quarter in a moment.
Harcourts, more than just real estate professionals.
It's a state of mind. Dreaming big, unearthing possibilities, identifying potential. We Tasmanians thrive on this. It's what makes us different. It's what drives us to succeed. Together, we can embrace the future. MCMF and us. A state of opportunity.
Great to have your company wherever you may be tuning into our live stream coverage of the 2023 NTFA Division 1 Grand Final. Rob, we've got a few viewers all around Australia at the moment, I believe.
Yeah, it's fantastic. A big shout out to Lockie G and the G family listening in from New South Wales, and Harry G listening in from the Northern Territory. I know that they will be barracking for Scotch, but thanks for letting us know you're listening, and we hope you're enjoying the coverage.
All right, here we go. Second term getting underway. St Pat's finished that quarter off well. Bit stiff maybe with a advantage that should have been paid late in that quarter. Free kick coming back there to Lasky, who unfortunately for St Pat's hit the post. But there's only a goal in it. Ball up once again, and it's going to be Scotch with the first centre clearance. Inside 50. Over the back. Nicely done. It's Hilda. As time kicks it along the railway side. And doing very well there. 2-on-1 contest. And that was Ethan Conway who managed to push the ball out of bounds. So you can see just on the boundary there. Coming in from the shadows in front of the main grandstand. Beautiful conditions. That wind socks just changed a little bit, sort of getting across the ground a little bit more. St Pat's kicking to slight advantage in this second term. So we're going to get a ball up. Now Ruckman will do battle once again. It's Oliver and Kilby. And the umpire's picked out a free kick. And it's going to go the way of Oliver from that ruck contest over the shoulder. So it'll be a Old Scotch free kick, centre wing position. And that left foot will kick it to about 45 out. Punched away there in defence, and it's going to go out of bounds. Just inside the forward 50. And we'll get a boundary throw in. Pretty warm conditions this afternoon out in the sun. Coolish out of it. And we'll get a throw in. Just ticked towards 2 minutes in the opening term. For Conway. Gets boot to ball. Gets about 10 metres further afield. That was nicely picked up there by Duggan. But St Pat's are going to come away with it. Now, if they can get a run on here, here's an opportunity for Bennett. But that's good. Oh, good tackle. Get the handball away. And Scotch are going to come away. Kick it towards the centre wing position. Near the thing. Oh, just tipped out of the way was Conway. Good tackle. Now the loose man. Here's McKenzie. Has time. Geez, he sized that up well. Kicks it towards Swallow. But brilliant defensive work there over the top. And that was the skipper, Hilda. And it's out of bounds. So great work.
Just watching the St Pat's defence, they've got a couple of spares they're dropping off there now. It'd be interesting to see how Scotch counteract with that. I think that was reflected when you said McKenzie was free up there. Can't leave McKenzie by himself.
Big Georgie Oliver in the ruck with Kilby. And the umpires are plucking free kicks out of our jurisdiction here. So Jake Kilby with the free kick. You might have called him for a goal for Scotch earlier, so he's playing well. Here's Seymour. Now he just ducks around beautifully. He might just have a crack at him here. Long kick will go through for a goal. Well, shouldn't be playing in this league, but he is, and he's going to be a real star today by the look of it for Old Scotch. And Fletcher Seymour gets his first goal of the game in the second quarter, playing his 50th game for the club today. And that takes Old Scotch to 4-3-27. St Pat's 2-3-15. And that's a nice goal against that breeze that's probably not as prominent as that first term, Rob South.
Yeah, it's a terrific goal. Fletcher was playing senior football at Old Scotch, I think, as a grade 10 probably. He was always an enormously talented young athlete, cricketer and footballer. And I think in a school game, I think he ended up kicking 15 or 16 one day. So they'll be pretty happy if he does that today. But that's just a terrific goal. Powerful player. And certainly stamping his class on this game.
So 2-goal lead here for Old Scotch. 4 minutes into the second term. Here's Tepper. Seymour tackled. Breaks the tackle. He's so strong. Kick towards Swallow. Hilda did very well not to get into his back there. Tepper once again on the left foot. Towards half forward. And they're going to go backwards here, and that was smart play, and the mark taken by Conway. He goes short, and tall players don't get any shorter. Johnny Swallow was out positioned there by Jake Kilby, the ruckman. He switches play, And it comes off. Nice mark taken under pressure there by Vandenberg.
Having a ruckman switch plays at nervous time too.
So St Pat's will come inside 50. Good looking kick towards King. And it trickles out of bounds about 40 metres around from the St Pat's goal. They trailed this one by 12 points, approaching 5 minutes in the second term. Great to have your company with us, with thanks to Jeremy Wilkinson from Harcourts Launceston. Hope you're enjoying the coverage. You're with Michael Maney, Rob Soward and myself, Rick Fontaine. Great to have you with us this grand final day. Now the ball picked up and shut. Oh, it's hit the base of the post again. And that was off the boot of Dodds and through 4 behind. So the margin is now 11 points. It's Scotch 4-3, leading St Pat's 2-4.
Dodds just having a quick snap. Long kick out. Oliver's the target. Ball punched away by the St Pat's defence. Then working beautifully out there was Max Schultz. Kick to the Vandenberg, but he can't keep it in. It'll be a ball in.
Their defence was set up better that time, Scotch. I was watching them, though, certainly on the goal side of their opponents, which is exactly what they needed to do. So it's obviously an adjustment they've made at quarter time after getting caught out a couple of times in that first quarter.
So Kilby in the ruck against Oliver. Kilby got it down. Tepper tried to knock it forward for St Pat's. There's the man I mentioned a moment ago in Schultz. And Duggan, did he hold on to it? The umpire said, yep, he had enough of that. Then the little kick, 50-50 ball. Beautifully done there by Lawrence, who created that. Another little handball comes out toward Nathan Barry. And now it's been marked. That's Tepper, I think, who's got it. The outer side. Little chipping ball. They go through Claridge. Claridge kicks long. One grab, 2, and are rushed behind. So it looks like St Pat's 2 goals, 5-17. Old Scotch 4-3-27, and we've gone almost 7 minutes in the second term.
Early stages of the preliminary final in the Premier Division down at Georgetown this afternoon. That game getting underway at 2:30. It's a goal apiece between South Launceston and Rochalee. That should be a cracker, the winner to play Hillwood in the grand final next week. We'll keep abreast of how that game's going. So here, though, meanwhile, the Div 1 grand final, Lasky goes short. That's a beautiful, beautiful pass. And it finds Jake King. He's been pretty busy, Rob Sow, the vice-captain. He's kicked one this afternoon already.
Yeah, he's been terrific. I've just had some feedback too. We didn't have the arc that we talked about, Michael Maney, but we've got Alec Croswell at home. He's been doing freeze frame on this, and he's had a good look at it, and he said to me, good decision from the goal umpire.
Thank goodness
Thanks,
for that.
Alec.
Love that. We outsource our arcs.
Here is King now. A deliberate shot. It's not a bad kick. I think it's got it. He has. Goal to St Pat's. Jake King gets his second of the afternoon, and the margin all of a sudden back to 4 points. 4-3-27. St Pat's 3-5-23. One more scoring shot for St Pat's too, Rob Sow. You just saw at the latter stages of that opening quarter they were just starting to pepper away and looking a bit better. We've got a real contest here.
Yeah, Jake King's a really exciting player for St Pat's, and I have to admit, Michael and Rick, as a Richmond supporter, I got a bit excited when I did see that name in the program. I thought push-ups here.
Yeah.
But no, look, he's been a really good player for St Pat's for a while now, and just a really clever goal in his second for the day. So they'll be pleased with that 4-point margin.
A leading goal kicker in the NTFA too, I think a couple of years back, Jake King.
Yep. Back in the centre, Ruckman go. McFadgen is in there now for Old Scotch. Ball just funneled out the back. Just hovering over it there was Dougal Morrison. Couldn't knock it out. Little quick kick out by King again. Tepper. Couldn't quite get there. Good solid defence by Richie Hazelwood for Old Scotch, and just gets it to the line. So we're picking them up as we go, Rick. Not as easy as it looks sometimes.
Yeah, he's a good player, Jordan Tepper, formerly with South Launceston, of course. Terrific player.
Boundary throw in. Here's Schulz again. Got it away to Fletcher Seymour just kicks high. Cairns will try and get that one right. And it rolls out of play. It's interesting when you see someone's name spelt Carins. You generally go with Karens, wouldn't you? But we've been pummeled here, there and everywhere about that.
It's a tough crowd, but it's great. We appreciate people letting us know. And I've known gentlemen who've had it spelt the same way. Some pronounce it Karen, some Cairns. So there you go.
Well,
depends which school you went to, probably.
That's right. Someone needed to get that right a long, long time ago. The ball is out of bounds on the outer side, and it is a 4-point margin here in favour of Old Scotch. This is a really tight contest.
It is indeed. Very tight going here. Old Scotch going through the season undefeated, of course. Pretty heavy favourites, but the reigning champs in Pat's doing it well. But here's Mackenzie. He'll have something to say this afternoon about it. He's been brilliant all year, the MVP. But they're standing tall here. St Pat's in defence. Here's a chance for Seymour. He might get 2-on-1 here, but he's just so strong physically. Gets a handball. That time doesn't come off. Vandenberg with it. Here is Cairns now. Goes with the right boot to inside 50. It's a good kick, and there's Tepper with the mark. Gets onto that left foot straight away. Goes inboard. Direct kick, just not going to quite find Lasky. He gets around his opponent very well, does Lasky, and that's going to go close. That is a magnificent goal. That is an outstanding goal. Tucked up in the left forward pocket, Jake Lasky. That's a team lifter. Kicks his first for the afternoon, and St Pat's, for the first time, they're in front. They lead 4-5. Old Scotch 4-3. That's just class, Rob Soward.
Oh, absolute class. I mean, he was terrific in last year's corresponding game. But just a couple of things I'm noticing at the moment, and it's a bit of an addition by subtraction. St Pat's have really ramped up their effort and their intensity. Scotch have fallen away a bit, so it's opened up a little bit of a gap, and you could see there, I mean, even the chase on Lasky then, you know, there wasn't a desperation that I'd like to see. It was great movement from one end of the ground to the other. See what Brayley Coombs and his coaching panel can do to adjust here for Scotch, because you get the feeling that the momentum's changing.
Charlie Easto's gone into the middle. It's been a little dry spell for him after getting plenty of it. Mackenzie now to wax nicely with Fletcher Seymour. He goes long. Is he hoping for a mark? Well done. That defence of St Pat's, as Rick Fontaine mentioned a while ago, really under the pump, but getting the job done. Hay escorts it to the line. Boundaries throwing about 25 metres away from the Old Scotch goal.
And no accident either. I don't think that St Pat's work rate's improved as Tepper has worked his way into the game. He's a terrific player and a great acquisition for them this year.
Yeah, those left footers, they get you every time. Here's a chance for St Pat's away through Harrison. Harrison goes long, just kicks to a contest, ball thumped away. And the opportunity there for a second or two from Jock Dark, and it rolls out of play. So St Pat's have wrested back the lead, as Rick said. This is the first time they've led in the match. St Pat's 4-5-29, Old Scotch 4-3-27. It's been a dour old struggle. Here's Walsh for St Pat's, caught up with his father, Damien, before the game. Kick, so Scotch go forward. Easto's not going to track this down before it rolls away from him, and another boundary throw-in on the outer side.
So just a couple of final scores. The under-18s, South Launceston finished the season on top of the ladder. They have gone out in straight sets. They have lost the preliminary final, I believe, in the last 9 seconds, Michael Maney. 6-6-42. Old Scotch defeated South Launceston by 1 point.
Just enough.
Just enough. Here is Mackenzie. Has a bit of time to duck and weave. Has a bounce now. Comes through the centre. Kicks towards half forward. Been impressed with Vandenberg. It's been very good, Rob Soward.
Yeah, and 1 on 3 there.
Yep.
Like, he never should have marked that. That's a great effort.
Looks like he's just visiting as a backpacker, doesn't he? Sort of Vandenberg, sort of.
He works for AFL Tasmania, so he has.
I thought he might have been picking a few blueberries or something yesterday, and he's popped in today.
Yeah,
great
he's
effort.
A terrific fella, and doing a great job with AFL Tas, and doing a very good job here. I've got to say, what I've noticed about the St Pat's defence It is just old-fashioned defence, Rob. If they're in doubt, they don't think they can take it. They punch it away towards the boundary line. They're not bringing it back in towards, I guess, central. They're defending very, very well.
Yeah, great assessment, Rick. Again, just traditional, get it done, get it out of there.
Right, in the attacking zone. Here's a chance, a tackle. Good tackle there. McKenzie getting plenty of it at the moment. Come towards the boundary. That's out of bounds. We'll get a boundary throw in about 45 out. Left half forward for Scotch. We've been going 15 minutes in the second quarter, and it's St Pat's leading the grand final. 2 points is the margin.
I don't think I'll be working for AFL Tasmania anytime soon, Rick.
He liked that young Vandenberg. He's a good young fella.
McKenzie gets another possession. And they'll come away here through Schultz. Gets plenty of purchase on that ball. And here's Hilda, the skipper. Couldn't quite get it, but just goes the old-fashioned soccer kick off the ground. Swallow, handball out. Coming in board, good kick. Very nicely done. Sized it up well, didn't rush. And the mark taken by Duggan. And Duggan's only about 35 metres out. Slight angle, kicking to the city end.
Yeah, it's a rare mark for them going forward. They've broken down a lot. That St Pat's defence that you both have referenced has been really, really good. But this is an opportunity they'll want to capitalise on, because you've got to say, as an undefeated side going into a grand final, the pressure's all on you.
So Duggan will come in now. Just goes around. Umpire calls play on. Kick is a good one. Straight through the middle. And Old Scotch sees back the lead. The margin 4 points, 5-3-33. St Pat's 4-5-29. And that is the first goal of the afternoon to Matthew Duggan.
Yeah, and a good piece of play there that resulted in that goal. We were just talking in the pre-game, Rick, about the margins between the two sides through the year, and there was one blowout, I think, in the second time they met, but it's been reasonably close. And in talking to Jacob Lowe, the assistant coach here at St Pat's today, this is the only game they've got to win. What's happened before doesn't matter. You don't get a head start if you're undefeated, and St Pat's have come to play.
Just bulk erase everything else. It's all about this game.
Just very quickly, Michael, in the reserves in the Premier Division, Longford through to the grand final. They've defeated Bridgenorth by 7 points. Score
updates courtesy of Rick Fontaine. So back in the centre, Old Scotch get the lead back. Duggan, little handball out. His opposite number 6 has got it, and that is Nathan Barry. Mitchell Bennett led. Fletcher Seymour was there. Got the kick away. The vision was absolutely outstanding to Cornish. Cornish just ducks back. Little chipping ball is okay to the run of Eastoe. Eastoe's got to get a handball over the top. Was tackled without it. No free kick as Luke Tepper comes in. And then he chips it to his partner in crime in Jordan Tepper. So Jordan Tepper, kick is okay. And that finds Jonathan Lawrence. Lawrence is at true centre half back. So what's he got in front of him? There's a fair bit of movement. He's better get rid of it. And he does. Called the play on. Ugly sort of bouncing ball. Walsh was there. Running onto it was Barry. Barry just kicks it long, hoping for a mark. An intercept mark. Extraordinary stuff. That was taken by Richie Hazelwood for Old Scotch. And he'll go in short and he'll find a teammate there in Keach.
Great courage from Hazelwood. Kick, only went one-handed there. Might have lost it in the sun, Henry Cornish, on that occasion. Apologises to his teammate. So I might give him the benefit of the doubt there, because the sun at this time of the day would be creeping over that main grandstand. I reckon he just lost it. So a boundary throw-in with St Pat's and Old Scotch in battle. It's the Scotchies leading by 4 points. 18.5 minutes gone, second term. Good ruck contest. Kilby gets it down. Whistle goes, and it's going to be a free kick. It's going to come back here, and it's might be Eastoe with the free kick, and a bit of an up and under kick, that one too. Here's Vandenberg at the front, and I'll tell you what, Rob Soward, he's almost best on ground at the moment, I reckon.
Yeah, he's been terrific.
He's been tremendous, hasn't he? Oh, that was... Ooh. Now, he might be in a bit of... Eastoe has not moved. You can just see his left arm moving there. It's going to be a free kick. He's slow to get up. I don't think he actually got the free kick. Might have been his teammate who got the free kick there. So it was a fair contest. He just landed pretty heavily. So the kick taken here by Jackman. Goes short, finds the skipper in Swallow. Swallow out wide. Nice kick there, finds his teammate in Young. Young to the forward pocket. They're going the long way, and it's out of bounds. Bryant, with a goal to his name, not able to take the mark. So, approaching time on. It's about 40 out from the Old Scotch goals. They're kicking to the city end in this second quarter. Throw in. Ruckman do battle again. It's a bit narrow. Chance here for Oliver. And the kick will land about 15 out from goal. Attacking the ball. That might be... it's going to go the way of Old Scotch. Bit of holding there picked up by the umpire. And it's going to come back to Jonty Swallow, the captain. He's got a goal to his name already in the opening quarter.
Well, he just came through with a bump and just made body contact, and then he wins a free kick for that. So
Jonty Swallow, yes, about 20 metres out. On a fair angle. But he's a quality player. And a chance to extend that margin deep into the second quarter. Swallow moves in. Good kick. He likes it straight away. Goal umpire doesn't move. And Swallow with his second of the afternoon, the skipper. And the margin out to 10 points. 6-3-39 plays 4-5-29. 21 minutes gone, second term.
You've got to take your opportunities in grand finals, and that's exactly what they've done today. Again, we keep coming back to the last year's match where Scotch had the opportunities and didn't today. That's a really good goal from that pocket, although I'm a bit with you, Michael. I wasn't quite sure what that one was for, but anyway, it's on the scoreboard and it'll be in the newspaper tomorrow, so that's exactly what Old Scotch would need. And they'd want to go into half-time with this sort of lead to set themselves up for the second half.
No doubt. Comments from Rob Soward, Michael Maney, Rick Fontaine with you. And it's been brought to you by Jeremy Wilkinson, Harcourt's Launceston. And he is been the Tasmanian Agent of the Year for 5 years running. So absolutely fantastic. Murdoch Clark Mortgage Fund, Launceston, Hobart, the Athlete's Foot, Brisbane Street in the mall, Launceston. They are all sponsors that are on board this afternoon, bringing you this coverage on Round Table from UTAS Stadium. Up it goes. Kick forward. Scotch go into attack again. Which way will this ball bounce? A little nudge down. Lawrence has to work overtime. Got it to a teammate who just zipped it, and that was Liam Brown, who did it nicely. Now to Claridge, just hugged the line. Poor bounce, just favoured Old Scotch in the end. Little short kick is just going to be turned over, and the mark will be taken by Dodds. So Dodds goes to the pocket. No one really leading. That's a wonderful mark. That is a terrific mark. That's been taken by who's that? Is that number 27?
32, Hazelwood, I think.
32, is it? Wonderful grab. Kicks to half back. They all fly. No one can take it. Another one jammed on the boot. And again, Lawrence did it well and goes in short and finds the big man in Kilby.
Kilby immediately plays on. They'll come inside 50 through Harrison. Kick to the pocket. Great defensive work there by De Boer on that occasion for Old Scotch. He thumps it out of bounds. About 35 around from the St Pat's goal. They'd love one here, Rob Soward, as we approach half-time.
Yeah, it'd be almost worth two in terms of the last few minutes where that momentum has swung back. So Scotch will be doing everything they can to stop that happening, Rick.
Yeah, a bit of swings and roundabouts. It's ebbed and flowed so far. Throw in. Well, he took them on here. What's the umpire's call going to be? It'll be a ball up.
I've been more impressed with Scotch's work in the back half. Hopefully don't jinx them by saying this. They've not got out of position as much this quarter.
So from the throw-in, here's Conway. Just can't pick it up. Handball comes out cleverly. Scrubby-looking kick there from Dark. And the ball out of bounds. And on that occasion, Connor Bryant, with a goal to his name, not able to keep it in play. But he's got it out of the danger zone at the 24-minute mark of the second quarter here at UTAS Stadium. Great to have your company wherever you may be watching us this afternoon. McKenzie had it spent before he took possession. Handball comes out. Chance for Easto, and the umpire's going to ball it up. Not sure what that signal was there. He almost, almost like it was a throw, but no, it's a ball up. Ball pinned to him maybe is what he meant to show. So from the throw-in, it's picked up by Harrison. Left foot kick. It's going to drop short. And not a great handball, but it's going to come off okay. Right in front of the commentary position. Great defensive spoil once again. Coming over the back that time was Lawrence.
Just when you think Old Scotch are going to power away, St Pat's somehow find a way to stay in the game. Old Scotch looking a little cleaner, but St Pat's hanging in there. Boundary throwing just went over the top of everyone in the end. Seymour, how did he get through there? Runs to 50, loads up, long kick. It's not going to quite make it. But Swallow, desperate to keep it in, can't do that. But just that step of Fletcher Seymour is the thing that allows him to manoeuvre through and past teammates and also opposition. Just brilliant.
Yeah,
So
that's where he kills you around that stoppage. I mean, that's just a classic example of that, and probably deserved the goal for his efforts.
So from the boundary throw-in, Jackson Young and Gilby. Gilby knocks it. Tepper gets it away, goes for the barrel, gets it right out of there. And off hands, did it stay in? No, it didn't. It'll be a boundary throw-in right on the outer side wing. And there's hasn't been as fiery, Rob, as I thought it might be. I think there might have been a little bit more willing, but
No, I was with you, Michael, on that one. We did preview that before the game. I thought it might have been a bit how you going, but we haven't seen that. They've come to play football, which is great.
yeah, that is great. So up it goes. Dodds in front. Still in front of Dodds. He'll want the line here and reset, and he gets it. So Old Scotch by 10 points. What was the halftime score in last year's grand final? It was a 10-point margin to St Pat's at halftime.
You love your
In the
stats,
grand
don't
final.
you? You're all over it, Michael Maney.
I get some things right. I try not to call blokes that haven't kicked a goal from the opposite team. Here's Dodds, and he goes in short, and he finds Harrison. So we're just starting to pick up some of these guys as we move toward half-time. He kicks long, almost the mark to Kilby. Here's King. He's going to roll this through. Is he? Yes, he is. He's got free. He is one of the most clever players in this competition, Jake King. And all of a sudden, the momentum was with Old Scotch, but St Pat's find a way, and King gets his third.
Bit of Luke Bruce about him, isn't there?
Yeah, there is. 6-3-39 to 5-5-35.
It's the old saying, isn't it? You know, if you want to be the champ, you've got to knock out the champ. I mean, at the end of the day, St Pat's have just got that cohesiveness as a team and belief that they can get it done. And again, you know, if I'm sitting in that Old Scotch chair, I'd be thinking, well, this is good. We'll go into half-time 10 points up. All of a sudden now it's back to 4 points, and St Pat's with that little bit of momentum in the latter stages of this quarter.
All right, we're nearly 28 minutes played here, and it's a 4-point ball game in favour of the Thistles from the NTCA ground. Umpire Shepherd tosses the ball up. Great work there from Kilby, getting the tap down. And he's going to get it here. Look at him ducking and weaving and getting out. Great smother there by Keach for Old Scotch. Like a rover, the old ruck rover. Here's Barry. You can hear the effects mic. The players out on the ground, and they're going to come forward. One more foray maybe before half time. Good kick. Plenty of numbers here for Scotch. Just a kick and hope there from Morrison. McKenzie, how did you get rid of that one? Fairly, apparently. It comes over the back, and it's going to be a nice defensive mark there taken by Dougal Morrison.
It's my man, Dougal.
Yep, gets it short. Cornish. He goes short also, but it's going to be cut off. Well read by Tepper. The left footer goes short. Good kick.
Oof.
Terrific kick. Size it up well. And the mark's been taken by Bennett. He goes short as well. And, well, how could you leave this man all alone? Jake King had metres in the clear, 25 out from goal.
No, that's just poor marking. And again, we talked about Scotch had sort of dropped the ball a little bit. That's sort of maybe they're already thinking about half time. But they're a couple of crucial errors. Henry Cornish's ball back inside, not the place you kick it at that end of the ground.
We made the comment a bit earlier, didn't we? St Pat's, when they've been in defence, have actually been trying to keep away from that centre corridor and going the safe option. But here's Jake King, the vice-captain. He's going to kick from about 35 metres out, almost half time. King, 45-degree angle, just off to the right. Disappointed with himself. The margin, 6-3-39 is 3 points. St Pat's 5-6-36. Michael Maney.
That was one of his easier shots at goal too, King. He's been fantastic, and that is a good mark taken at half back, and that is Schultz. So he goes long, and there's the siren for half time. And at half time, it is a 3-point lead to Old Scotch. They've booted 6-3-39. St Pat's 5-6-36. Goal scorers for Old Scotch. Jonty Swallow has 2, and then singles to Seymour, Duggan, Eastoe and Bryant. And for St Pat's, Jake King clearly leading with 3, then a single to Lasky, and what a goal it was on the left boot, and Harper, who kicked their first. So at half time, it is a 3-point margin in favour of Old Scotch. Rob Soward, what have you made of the first half?
Well, it's been a terrific game of football, and as we've said in the commentary, Michael, it's been ebbs and flows, and you sort of get one side that gets a bit of momentum and the other side sort of falls away a bit, and then it swings back the other way. I think it's been a terrific game of football, and the big crowd here have certainly enjoyed it. We've heard that through the effects, Mike. Strong rivalry, as we talked about in the previous game. There's guys in both these sides that have played against each other for 20 years, back at school and now in the senior competition. So I think it's a fantastic game of footy. It's the showpiece you want the grand final to be. For Old Scotch, I'd be a little bit disappointed. I felt that perhaps they left a couple out there in that first quarter. For St Pat's, I'd be delighted, because I think that, your average football supporter would say, oh no, Old Scotch will win this easy. They haven't dropped a game all year. St Pat's go in, I think, with a bit of momentum. Scotch, few adjustments to make.
Thoughts from Rob Soward here on our coverage of the 2023 NTFA Division 1 Grand Final from UTAS Stadium. It is Old Scotch 6-3-39 leading St Pat's 5-6-36. Time for a little bit of a break, hear from our sponsors, and we'll be back with the second half in a few minutes.
Harcourts, more than just real estate professionals.
It's a state of mind. Dreaming big, unearthing possibilities, identifying potential. We Tasmanians thrive on this. It's what makes us different. It's what drives us to succeed. Together, we can embrace the future. MCMF and us. A state of opportunity.
Welcome back to UTAS Stadium. Players breaking up there for St Pat's. Old Scotch in the huddle still. And we have got people tuning in everywhere, Rob Sowd. John Gavey is enjoying the commentary from Split in Croatia. Early morning over there. So Johnny Gavey, Paul Barker's tuning in as well. Great man. Great Essendon man he is,
yes.
Paul Barker.
Yeah, he wouldn't be happy with the last two games.
No,
Barks.
Indeed, but plenty of people tuning in to this afternoon. So great to have your company as well here. A very even game. 6-3-39 Old Scotch. St Pat's 5-6-36. Rob, going to be a big second half.
Yeah, it is. And you get the feeling, with the way the momentum's changed, you get the feeling the side that settles best and starts the best in this third quarter are really going to set themselves up. So I'll be interested to see what the coaches have done and what changes they've made. We'll keep a bit of an eye on that during the quarter.
And a good afternoon to old mate Malcolm Smith. He's down there in Burnie. He's watching the grand final as well, so they're loving it from all around Tasmania.
He should be out fishing. He's a terrific bloke, Malcolm Smith. He's a terrific bloke. I reckon he's been out fishing for sea runners this morning, Rick.
There you go, Malcolm Smith. Let us know on the message what you caught today.
Here we go. Second half underway. Kilby goes the double. Can't get it. Mackenzie to Seymour out wide looking for Duggan. Vandenberg just tracks it back. Just ran past it in the end. Little handball by Duggan off to Mackenzie. And then off one step, Keach. Inside 50. The mark's been taken. And that mark has been taken by Jackson Young. So you'll go back and look at a shot from about 45 metres out slight angle. And this would be a real boost for Old Scotch. If you can get an early one, if you get an early goal away, that can give you some momentum. So here he is. Jackson Young's been a goal kicker this year for Old Scotch. He knows how to kick one. So from 45, hoists it high, but it's faded away to the right. And A behind. So Old Scotch moved to 6-4-40. St Pat's 5-6-36. A minute gone in the third term.
Not a bad little place for a drink, Jackson Young, is it? In plenty of people from the football on their way to the MCG like to go and visit that. I wonder if he
Young and Jackson even
got his Young and Jackson.
So should be sponsoring him.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, the kick in. Gee, decent purchase on that one. Here's Tepper. Really came into it in the second quarter. That's almost a sling tackle and seen by umpire Shepherd as well. But he had a good second term, Rob Sowd, did Jordan Tepper.
He was terrific and I think really inspired that St Pat's flurry.
Vandenberg called his name a bit in the first quarter. That's a beautiful kick over the top there. Finds his teammate in Brown. And not able to pick it up, but shrugs the tackle well as Barry. He comes in short. That's a poor kick, though, but might come off here for them with the kick off the ground. And Lux of Fortune, play on is the call. Was touched. Time here for Bennett. That's a good kick. Really good kick into the right forward pocket. And the mark's been taken here. I think it might be Dodds. Bradley Dodds. Now, I'll tell you what. He's walking back slowly. It's the early stages. And I reckon fatigue's going to come into it a bit later on because both their grounds, they're smaller grounds. They're playing on the big, expansive spaces of UTAS Stadium, Rob. But I think fitness, if it's tight, could become a factor.
It certainly will be, and we saw that in the earlier game where tired legs, people started making mistakes. Survival of the fittest for sure.
Here's Dodds. Comes in, will kick from 40 to put St Pat's in front. It's across the face. One hasn't actually got the distance. Punch back down. Here's a chance. St Pat's, can they get it? No, they can't. Picked up here by Keach. He just kicks it out to about 60 from the goal, and it trickles out of bounds, and we'll get a boundary throw in. Almost 3 minutes played in the third quarter, and it's Old Scotch leading by 4 points.
Just needed a crummer there, Rob, didn't they? They needed someone to be able to crumb that ball. St Pat's.
They had half a look to it. Just didn't sit for the St Pat's player when he was trying to pick it up.
So Oliver and Kilby. Oliver got it. Knocked down. Tepper. Close to the line. Kept it in, or did he? No. He didn't. He's a very clever player, Tepper. The number 9 and the number 10, I should say, Jordan Tepper. Very good player. We see there's so much talent in the northern half of the state. There really is. So Oliver knocks it down, looking for Mackenzie. Why not? Keach there with the tackle on Callum Harrison for St Pat's. It's a long way away from us on the outer side. So a number of players around as Kilby knocks it down. We could be headed for another ball up. Quick kick out of there. Who can take a mark? They all overrun it. Opportunity here for Mackenzie. Now Mackenzie just gives it off. Now a kick inside 50. That's a wonderful kick. And the mark has been taken. And he goes on for goal. And he misses. That was Aiden Jackman, who could have steadied, could have rolled a cigarette and got on with the job and kicked the goal. But he didn't quite manage it. And all of a sudden the ball's at half back. And the mark has been taken by Braden Claridge for St Pat's.
I'm just watching up here. Jimmy DeBoer's gone to King, so that'll be interesting. That match up, they've swung DeBoer onto him.
So we've ticked almost towards 5 minutes. No goals so far. Just a couple of points for Old Scotch. They've got a chance as they come forward now. And it's off Lasky's hands. He's got one goal this afternoon. Goal of the day contender, that is for sure. Rob, message from Malcolm Smith. Swollen River's not helping the fishing at the moment.
No.
It'll start to liven up by mid-October.
He knows those Northwest Coast, Malcolm Smith. If he tells you that, Rick, you take that to the bank.
This is the fishing report with Rick and Rob.
Yeah. Boundary throw in. Back here at UTAS Stadium. That's a good handball. Here's Mackenzie. Back there to his teammate. Right, that's a good kick. Well, no, it's not. Mark's actually been taken there by Tommy Hilda, the skipper in defence. All the time in the world, just gives a handball to Lawrence. Lawrence kicks it towards the defensive 50, and a nice mark taken by Dodds. He'll go short as well, and that's great defensive work there. And thumped out of bounds by Dark, and we'll get a boundary throw in just forward of the centre, favouring ever so slightly the end that Scotch are kicking to here in the third quarter. 6 minutes played. It's a close one. 2023 Grand Final. Scotch undefeated for the season. Up against last year's premiers, St Pat's. Nice handball there from Harrison. Here's Tepper. That's Jordan. Tackled, holding the ball. Here's the call. And it'll be an Old Scotch free kick. So a chance to go in 50 here. It'll be Edward Keach. Keach goes around the mark now. Called the play on. Kicks it to centre half forward. Goes over the back. It spills. Opportunity here for Duggan. He's got one. He's got two. Matthew Duggan with his second of the afternoon. And a little bit of daylight here. 11 points now the margin. And it took almost 7 minutes. And we've got our first goal. Duggan has his second, as we mentioned. 7-5-47. St Pat's 5-6-36.
Very clever play, Matthew Duggan, and we saw that there. Got himself in the right space over the back and kicked a really good goal. For me, something that I'm really wanting to see this quarter, if I'm coaching Scotch, I'm wanting to see him get on top in the middle. I mean, when you say names like John McKenzie and Fletcher Seymour, who are both in there now, like two of the best midfielders in this competition, you'd want to see them getting their hands on it first. St Pat's, just through pure will and hard work, are really holding their own there, and then their back half are doing a really, really good job keeping Scotch out.
Back in the centre, taken away by Fletcher Seymour. Went this way, that way, got on the left, and the kick just floated, and Vandenberg takes the mark. This wonderful employee from AFL Tasmania goes into the centre of the ground, and the mark taken, I thought, by Kilby, but not paid. Seymour got it away to our man in Schultz. Schultz goes in short, just overcooked that one. Now taken by Lawrence. Lawrence goes short to Dodds, and Dodds took the mark. They run past the kick inside 50. No mark. Who can scruff this football? In dispute. Just getting wheeled out of the road there was Tom Johns, and the free kick will go to Johnston. Johnston goes short, not paid. Dodds back to Lasky. Lasky's left footer was off the side of the boot. It wasn't too bad. He got flattened afterwards. So it's a free kick. And it may be a 50, is it? No. No. So the kick was by Harrison. Goes in short.
think that might be Perkins.
Is that Perkins? Yes, it is. The number 38. So Perkins has it. He goes in short to the Lasky lead and goes straight through his fingers. You wouldn't have normally see that. Here's Seymour. Now the bounce will get a couple of them here. Lawrence is the beneficiary of a nice little tap down. In goes Vandenberg, just hovering over the footy, and the umpire will call for it. So the margin out to 11 points in favour of Scotch.
So just forward of the centre circle, favouring St Pat slightly. No one can get an effective tap down. Here's King. He'll come away here. And the busy Barry. Kicks it inside 50. Lasky. Oh, he's taken around the neck. Free kick.
Given one to go on with two.
And that was against James De Boer. So Lasky. If he's going to have a set shot, he'll kick from just outside 50. I don't think he's going. Now he goes back because he didn't really take a lot of steps back, but now he's giving himself a decent run up. So he might be looking.
And King was all by himself there. I know Mackenzie's gone and stood him now, but they left him alone, King.
Lasky goes around the mark. Oh, he gets around pretty easily. Oh, he goes again. Has a bounce. Can he kick another great goal? He misses to the near side. Oh, he did everything right just about. And it's a behind. So it's 5-7 St Pat's. Old Scotch 7-5. We've just ticked over 10 minutes into the third quarter. The premiership quarter of the NTFA Grand Final.
You might have won the television, Rob, for goal of the day if you'd have kicked that.
Absolutely. He'd be in the car already, I reckon. That would have been fantastic.
Hazelwood's kick out wide. Here's Cairns, can't get the run of the foot. He's gone out of the game, Cairns. And here's Fletcher Seymour. He hasn't gone out of the game. He just continues to rack them up. Kick down the line, looking for Duggan, can't take it. Hilda was there. Maybe a free kick, is it? No, it's against the number 33 and Luke Tepper, and it's going to Duggan. So Duggan, a couple of kicks from goal easily. Kicks a high ball inside 50 and Young takes a lovely mark. Not sure that he's got the journey from here, Young, but we've been proved wrong before. The old commentator's curse can get you, but Young is pretty deliberate, but a lot of them do, and they take a bit of time off the clock and then they just centre it up to the foot of the goal square. So here's Young from right on the paint of 50. Gets under it. Almost got the distance before it's thumped through for a behind. So Old Scotch moved to 7-6-48. St Pat's 5-7-37. We've gone 11 and a half in the third.
Update from Georgetown. Preliminary final of the Premier Division. Rochalee lead 4-3-27. South Launceston 2-3-15. Winner to play Hillwood in next week's grand final. So, safe passage there from St Pat's. They've got it outside their defensive 50. They trail by 11 points here at the 12-minute mark of the third quarter. And that's good defensive work there from De Boer for Old Scotch, thumping it out of bounds. Fair few fans over there in that section of the ground. Good crowd here at UTAS Stadium this afternoon. We've had the Premiership Cup here. The AFL Premiership Cup has done its rounds. Plenty of people out the back having photos taken with that. Particularly all those Carlton and Collingwood supporters, Rob, who are excited.
I've found people that go for Carlton. I've known for 30 years, never knew they barracked for.
Nice work there by McFarlane initially. With the ball now out of bounds. Left half forward for Old Scotch, who lead it by 11. 7-6 plays 5-7. Just repeating, Rochalee in the second quarter leading South Launceston by 12 points down at the magnificent Blue Gum Park in Georgetown. We'll be here next Saturday for the Premier Division Grand Final. All four Grand Finals. Here's a chance for Scotch. Looking to try and open up a bit of a gap. Goes to full forward. Little nudge out was fair. Hilda, his non-preferred left. That's a nice mark. Taken there by Barry. He's had a good start to this quarter. There might be a little nudge in the back. No, play on, says the umpire. Here's Seymour. Kicks it. Little kick. Just goes the required distance. Mark taken there by Schultz. They'll come inside towards full forward. Over the top it spills. Umpire's picked out a free kick and it's going to go the way of Old Scotch. And landing a little bit awkwardly was Easto. Want to just turn that ankle a little bit.
He's just such a courageous player. I mean, have a look at the size of him. He's a small forward, and he just plays like a much bigger player, you know, no fear. But hopefully that ankle doesn't trouble him, Rick, with his shot on goal.
You have to have a broken leg before he didn't take this kick. Mind you, he loves a goal, Charlie.
He does.
A little bit ginger, but he's not too far out. He's going to kick from, no more than 20, 25 metres out, 45-degree angle. A chance for probably the first time today to just put a bit of a decent gap on the scoreboard. Easto moves in. He's a lovely left foot kick and makes no mistake. His second of the afternoon, and Old Scotch skip out here to a 17-point lead. I reckon that's probably the biggest margin of the day so far. 8-6-54. St Pat's 5-7, 37, 14 and a half minutes played.
Yeah, it's an arm wrestle for sure, but you just start to feel that Scotch are just slowly gathering that momentum, and that ankle's not going to hurt him any at all at 2:30 tomorrow morning if he's drinking a soft drink out of the Premiership Cup. I'll give you the tip. But just starting to get on top, you get the feeling that unless St Pat's can get the next goal, the things are going to be a little bit tricky for them from here on in.
12 points was the biggest margin, Rick. You are correct. Second quarter when Seymour saluted for Old Scotch. So 17 is the biggest margin. So back in the centre, speak of the devil, Fletcher Seymour caught, and that ball's going nowhere.
I've just been watching if they've run a hard tag on him, and it doesn't look like they have. I mean, it's challenging. How do you tag someone that plays at that level?
Yeah, difficult to do. You just probably forget about it and try and set up behind the ball a bit better. So high kick, Scots go into attack. Hilda. Swing around was Barry. Got the kick away. Opportunity for Claridge. All done by Tepper. And then Mackenzie. And that's a stalemate. 54-37. 15 and almost 16 minutes gone in the third quarter. St Pat's, they've been able to respond, but can they now? They're 17 points down. Opportunity for the man in the number 12 in Lawrence. Away they go. Matthews for Scotch. Inside 50, hoping for a mark. Ball knocked away. Swallow, he's clever. Can he conjure something here, Swallow? He's got to try and get around. Handball, beautifully done. There's a goal. It's out to 23 points. And Aidan Jackman finally gets a goal. And now that margin creeping out to 23 points, as I said. Jackman gets his first of the afternoon, and they've booted 3 unanswered goals so far in this term.
We talked before about people watching and following and being interested. A family I know that will be very interested who live in mainland Australia. Some of their family is the family of the late Jeff Price. Sauce Price was an absolute icon and a legend here at the Old Scotch Football Club.
Yeah, you picked that up, didn't you? Went Jackman straight away to the black armbands, which they've worn every week since his very sad passing.
He did. They lost Sauce a couple of weeks ago now, and you just couldn't say enough good things about Jeff Price. And I know that he's held very dear in the memories of those here, and they want to get it done today for Sauce.
Yeah, well said, Rob. Legend not only of Old Scotch but the NTFA. I think he might have been one of the first ones inducted there as well. As Mackenzie comes forward, gee, they're looking good now. A very dangerous margin, 23 points in favour of the Thistles, and it's inside their forward 50 once again. We're just over 17 and a half minutes played in the third quarter. 9-6 to 5-7. The Meander Valley Suns boys still in full voice down there, even though their team's not playing. They're having a great day. They've been here since the beginning when the women played in the grand final.
You can't say they're celebrating anything because the women got beat, but they're just drowning their sorrows maybe.
Having a great afternoon. Good atmosphere here at UTAS Stadium. Good kick claiming the mark, but no, certainly came off other hands first. So we'll have a ball up. Interchanges galore happening here for Old Scotch at the moment. He's just coming back onto the ground.
I love their enthusiasm, the Meander Valley Suns, but I just hope they're not here when we turn up next Saturday morning.
Kick forward from Briggs towards 50. And, well, gee, We'll just wait for this passage of play, and it's gone across the goal. I'm just trying to pick up who that might have been. Not sure if it was Lawrence for St. Pat's. He just had a chance to take possession of the ball, but couldn't get his hands on it, but no damage done, a behind only. So they're on top at the moment, Old Scotch. 4 goals the margin, 9-7, 5-7.
Luke Tepper with the mark. Goes in short to Dodds. Got it on the third grab. That was all right. Under a lot of pressure at the moment. Little short kick finds Mitchell Bennett at half-back. But Tepper now. And this is... it's King. So King in short. And that's how desperate it's got. King is pushing all the way back just to see if he can get his hands on the footy and do something for St. Pat's, because scoring has dried up. Inside 50s have dried up. And it's all Old Scotch who are playing the game pretty much on their terms at the moment.
And he kicked 1 behind so far this quarter, St. Pat's.
3 goals to Old Scotch. Here's Walsh. Tried to knock it through. Well done by Dark. Got a high ball. Where are the Rovers? Where are the Crummers? Nicely defended by Brown of St. Pat's. Oh, it could have been a free kick rolling through there. And Luke Tepper's copped one for his corner. Not sure whether that was Swallow who's stopped him in his tracks. But he's got a free kick. Just checking the teeth and make sure they're all still there. Tepper. This is Jordan Tepper. On the wing. Gee, there's some short leads, but there's nothing much down the line, and that kick is picked off wonderfully by Oliver. And he'll drive it high. His opposite ruckman couldn't take it. That was Kilby. Little handball. Chopped off. Now taken by Old Scotch. Keach runs the full circle. Then the kick off the side of the boot. Who can run onto this? Swallow is there. Knock forward. St. Pat's desperate to get a goal, just to give them some sort of a chance in the last quarter. That kick just covers the pack. Well done by Harrison, and Harrison gets St. Pat's out of a bit of trouble. And here they go, Rick.
They're out here. Conway kicks it over the top of the head there, unfortunately for St. Pat's, to Cairns. And they'll mop up in defence. The ball here now with Briggs. Goes short. And stretching the hands out is Fletcher Seymour, playing in defence at the moment. He just decides to slow it down a little bit. And he'll kick it towards centre wing. As the big men go up. Sharked well there by Swallow. Dishes it off to his teammate in Schultz. And it's going to come back for St. Pat's. They need a couple of goals here, Rob, just to give them something to go into the last quarter.
Yeah, they haven't looked like it really. The Scotch defence has been much better organised this quarter, but they've controlled the middle as well, which we said they needed to do.
Here's Bryant. Gets out of a tackle pretty easily. Mark taken here by Duggan. He's got a couple of goals to his name. He goes short. He'll look for Eastoe. And that's great persistence from Eastoe and rewarded.
The St. Pat's player can't believe it.
No, doesn't like it, Liam Brown, but it was just persistence. He is limping a little bit out there, Charlie Eastoe. We saw him just hobble back out onto the ground a few minutes ago. Came off, had the ankle checked. But it's a lovely looking left foot kick, this one, into the forward pocket. In front, Jackson Young. And that was a little bit too easy, Rob Howard.
Yeah, it was. You talked, both mentioned at the start of this quarter, the effort of fatigue. At the moment, and I guess that's the case when you're chasing. When you're chasing, you always look tired, and St. Pat's certainly look like they're a bit out of steam at the moment.
So here's Jackson Young. Tucked up in the pocket. And the kick, was a great effort. The post shakes. It's a behind. So Old Scotch at the 23-minute mark. They are leading 9-8-62. 25 points to the good of St. Pat's, 5-7-37.
3 behinds in this term for Jackson Young. It's been a good target for them. He's been able to take marks inside 50. So St. Pat's work it to the centre of the ground. Ball kicked off the ground. Might be coming back here. Well done by Oliver. Just got to handle it away to Schultz. Now it's with Fletcher Seymour from outside 50. He looks at the goals and goes bang and misses. Just away to the right. But had the distance covered beautifully. It's 26 points, the margin now.
Just can't get it out of there. Defensive 50 at the moment. Tepper gets the short pass off. And they just need something. Oh, he's been called to play on to get the handball out. And holding decision. It's going to come back here. It's going to be a St Pat's free kick for holding. It's going to go to Williams. Just about 20 metres out from their defensive goal. Gee, they're set up well defensively here. Scotch. There's not much room to move for St Pat's. They finally find a little bit of space. Here's Perkins. Tepper. Jordan. He goes short. Looks for and finds his teammate. And the mark taken by Harrison. He goes further inboard. Kilby. He goes to the outer side. A little floating mongrel, that one. And pretty easy mark taken there by DeVore at centre half back. Short. Seymour getting plenty of it in the last few minutes. Told to play on as he goes around the mark. And there is the siren. 3/4 time. And the premiership quarter, as they call it, it was a good one for Old Scotch. They kicked 3 goals, 6. So 9 scoring shots to 1, Rob Soward. 9-9-63 Old Scotch. They'll take a 26-point lead into the final term. St Pat's 5-7-37.
Yeah, look, if you were reviewing that quarter, Rick, you'd almost say that in the first half St Pat's fired their shots. They just couldn't get anything for their effort, and Old Scotch just ramped it up a bit. They couldn't go with them. That said, though, St Pat's are a really, really proud group. There's some enormous talent there, and they showed in that first half particularly their ability to create goals by that quick ball movement into the forward line, but that certainly wasn't there this quarter. The Old Scotch defence held firm. I thought the Old Scotch midfield lifted a lot as well, and they certainly were creative in attack. So from a St Pat's perspective, it's all to be done. But that said, they've got nothing to lose. They can just throw everything around here. They've got 25 minutes of footy left in the year for Scotch. For them, it would be a great way to cap off what's been an undefeated season, and would be something that would go down in a proud club's records as a huge achievement. But again, as we've said all along, just because you're undefeated through the roster games counts for nothing today. But at this stage, Old Scotch have the momentum. St Pat's with it all to do.
They have thoughts from Rob Soward as we check the goal kickers to 3/4 time. Firstly for the leaders, Old Scotch, 2 each to Duggan, Swallow and Charlie Eastoe. And 1 each to Fletcher Seymour, Bryant and also Aidan Jackman with 1, whilst for St Pat's 3 goals to Jake King and Jacob Lasky, Kyle Harper with 1 apiece. So thanks to Jeremy Wilkinson, Harcourt's Launceston, Tasmania's Agent of the Year for the last 5 years. Time for a quick break. We'll be back with the final term very shortly.
Harcourts, more than just real estate professionals.
It's a state of mind. Dreaming big, unearthing possibilities, identifying potential. We Tasmanians thrive on this. It's what makes us different. It's what drives us to succeed. Together, we can embrace the future. MCMF and us. A state of opportunity.
Well, the final quarter about to get underway. Old Scotch have pushed it out to 26 points. They're led by 6 points at quarter time, 3 points at half time, and they've put another 23 points beyond St Pat's. Here we go. What have St Pat's got left in the tank? Kilby knocks it down, but Old Scotch are going to go into attack. Fickle bouncing ball. Now taken by Vandenberg, who's been terrific for them. His kick out wide. Harrison's got to try and run onto this. Now it ends up with Mackenzie. Mackenzie, just a little kick over the top is okay to Fletcher Seymour, who's knocked up getting the football. He's got a player in Duggan in some space just outside the 50, uses him. So Duggan is about 60 from goal. So an early goal here might just put it all away. Well done by Hilda, just read it off the pack nicely, but Mackenzie just read it as well and just got across to take the chest mark. So Mackenzie from right on 50. How much has he got left in those legs? He's been workmanlike today, Mackenzie. Just wonderful by hand and foot. Fletcher Seymour provides a little something. He's got to run around, and then that's not one of his best efforts by foot. Yeah. Commentators curse, just pumped him up. Keach. Seymour is going to try and run onto it now. Little quick kick by King into the centre, but here's my man Dougal, and his kick's not all that flash. Yeah, it has gone backwards. Schulz, just a little chip. Oliver couldn't take the mark, just went straight through his fingers. Be disappointed with that. Duggan tried to go the handball forward. Ends up at the back now with Williams. Now to Conway. Conway's kick, well, didn't have anyone to go to and just went for territory in the end. And how's the umpire see this? He says that's okay. And it'll be a ball in. 9-9-63, 5-7-37 in the grand final. Rick Fontaine, Rob Soward with you on Roundtable's live stream of this grand final, the 2023 Div 1 men's grand final.
Half-time down at Blue Gum Park. Rochalee leading South Launceston in the preliminary final by 18 points. So from the boundary, throw in, heading towards the line once again. And coming away with it there, Seymour gets it to Mackenzie. Here's the skipper, Swallow. Vandenberg leading the race for the ball. Lovely handball over the top, finds teammate in Bennett. They just have to get this first goal. Great defensive work there with a fist was De Boer. Here's Seymour. Sitting back in defence a little bit more at the moment. Almost a floater there for them. And that kick thumped on again by De Boer. I've liked his game this afternoon. Played his role very well, and that ball is getting punched towards the boundary, and it goes over on the railway side of the ground.
He's played a pretty good game, Jimmy De Boer. I was really impressed too with, I think we mentioned, they put him onto King. King had kicked 3 goals and looked really dangerous, and I don't think we called King in that third quarter.
No, he's had a terrific second half so far, has De Boer. Boundary throw in. It's short and taken easily away there by Oliver. And, well, that's a great grab. Mark there taken. They'll come forward again. That might have been Bryant. Kicks it inside 50. Over the top now. Loose man. Here's the chance. Cornish kicks it short. It's not going to hit the target. And that funny shape ball. Almost going for an incredible goal there was Easto. And goes out of bounds on the full.
That could have been exclamation mark, full stop, all over. If that they had 4 of them lined up for
it. He gave it a good go, didn't he? Here's Hay. Goes short. That probably hasn't got the required distance. It hasn't. Scrubby looking kick. And this is going to gift a goal. And that is just about it. Costly mistake. Kicked by Duggan. And that's number 3 for Matthew Duggan this afternoon. And that margin is over 5 goals now, Rob. 10-9, 69. St Pat's just the one behind in the second half still. 5-7, 37.
Yeah, we were chatting just off air about, what we'd try and do if we were, trying to turn things around. And we made the point that, St Pat's have kicked 5 goals in 3 quarters. They're probably going to need to kick 7 goals in a quarter. And that's really hard to do, particularly against an Old Scotch defence that's structured up best. But that just came through pressure. It was pressure going forward, people lining up to kick a goal, and then Duggan rewarded for his hard work and efforts in being in the right place at the right time.
100th club game today for Duggan. his 3 goals. Here's Harrison out of the centre. St Pat's need a couple of quick ones here. And Barry, hands and knees, tries to get out to Walsh. Walsh can't quite get there. Keach was also there. Claridge. How did he get rid of that? The umpire said that's okay. Here's Mackenzie. Nice little give away to Jackman, and he goes short to Duggan. Duggan back to Mackenzie, who couldn't collect, but Kilby was right there with a bit of muscle. Back in the centre, Harrison's got some work to do. Now just stolen in the end over the top by Swallow. Now Cornish. Cornish goes this kick a little bit better to his mate in Young. He can't take the mark. Hilda tries to knock it. Here's Perkins. Oh, did well Perkins. Ducked the head, but got out of the way. And then just delivered nicely to Claridge. Claridge goes out wide, and that's okay, and finds Tepper. So that's Jordan Tepper. Now his quick kick finds Harrison, who's had a good start to this quarter. Claridge is just cruising by, kicks it long, and that'll be just chopped off too easily. And the mark has been taken by Fletcher Seymour. He seems to be everywhere, Fletcher Seymour, down back. And as soon as Fletcher Seymour gets the ball, man up Mackenzie, because that's where it's going almost all the time. The kick finds Oliver on the wing.
So Oliver, in no rush whatsoever. Gets onto that left foot, drives it forward to about 60 out. Off hands, over the back. Sharked well, getting boot to ball. Doing very well, keeping his feet now. How's this going to bounce? Chance for Easto. Is he being held? No, play on, says the umpire. Handball. Good, strong tackle. And it results in a turnover, and it results in a behind.
Well, you never like to be critical of umpires' decisions, but it was almost like a spot the ball in that one. Charlie Easto was tackled. The football wasn't in the photo.
33 points the margin now. And St Pat's under the pump, be fair to say. Here's Harrison at half back. Jackman could have done a lot better with that. He missed a few today, Jackman. There's my man, the number 16, Dougal Morrison, taking the mark. He's got Fletcher Seymour. So where's Mackenzie? That's the big question. So Seymour, this time he doesn't go to him.
He's on the far side of the ground, so yeah.
Here's Jackman, just kicks it in. Perkins roved it nicely. Advantage is paid, so it'll be taken by Mitchell Bennett, who goes in short. That's okay, and finds King. King trying to work back to Bennett. Bennett goes short. Is that 15? Didn't matter. Vandenberg was paid the mark, played on, got caught, and the umpire said you didn't release. So away they go again. Little chipping ball is okay, and finds Aidan Jackman. Jackman, who's had a pretty good game. Well, most of the Old Scots players have been quite good today. Ollie McFarlane was in a little bit of space there, but he decided to hoist it high. Just picked off here, Claridge. Little handball over the top. So gets it back to Claridge. Claridge goes long. Cairns, that's the first time we've called him for a little while, and he just dishes off the handball.
Vandenberg goes short and towards the wing. Gee, they're still working hard, aren't they, Scotch? Even though they're in control here, they're 1%ers, they're doing very well. And that kick towards the boundary line just stays in play. And getting away there for St Pat's was Claridge. Came second in the goal kicking for season 2023. No goals this afternoon so far. Tackled, might have been high, play on. And that might be holding the ball. No, play on again. The umpire letting it go. Fair enough, Conway. And that might be a free kick this time.
He's going to ball it up for some reason.
Okay, I thought the ball had spilled clear. But ball up, centre wing. 10-10-70, Old Scotch, well in control. 5-7-37, 9 minutes played here in the final term of the grand final. Belted forward there by Keach. Everything going Scotch's way at the moment, and that kick go over the top of Easto's head, and it'll be belted away, but it might come back very shortly as well. 2-on-1 here. Yeah, nice work, excellent work there by Dodds. He has been one of the better players this afternoon. Here's a chance, inside 50, mark is taken, Barry kicks a goal. Their first goal of the second half, 10 minutes played almost, 27 points the margin, 10-10-70, St Pat's 6-7-43.
Yeah, full credit to St Pat's there. Like, that just came through hard work. And Barry, who you've called a fair bit today, he's been one of St Pat's better players and well rewarded for effort there.
That's their first goal since the 27-minute mark of the second term. So it's been a dry run for St Pat's. And, gee, that was a wonderful bit of work by Dodds, who ended up getting the ball forward. And then Barry had to deliver the goods from about 35 and nailed the goal. So back to 27 points. Rick?
Yeah, Rochalee running away with it in the preliminary final. 7-4-46, leading South Launceston 2-3-15 into the third quarter.
Wow, that a bit of a turn up for the books, that one, or not? Or they evenly matched those two?
Pretty evenly matched, but Rochalee well on the way, in control at the moment, looking to play at Hillwood next week.
Cairns boots it long. No mark anywhere in there. King, he's going nowhere. If they can snag another one here and follow it up again, then we might have a ball game. So Dodds in the ruck. Who can snavel one here for St Pat's? Old Scotch's defence has been absolutely outstanding. De Boer just kept it in front of him. And as you said, Rob Sauer, De Boer's been a real rock back there.
Yeah, he has. He plays a role in his junior years. He was a really, really good forward. I actually had the fortune of coaching him as a junior. I think 6 goals in a game for me in a Sardis game.
Who haven't you coached, Rob? I'll get back to that in a moment. As here we go through. Fletcher Seymour goes in short. He might just get it back here. He does, as he waxes with Jackman. Ball goes out wide to McFarlane, and he's dragged down. And that is a free kick. Well done.
I never would have played him in the back line though, Michael, so which is why I'm up here. And Brayley Coombs is coaching him down there, coaching very well, I might add.
Well, you just give players opportunities to diversify. As a little short kick finds King, who takes the mark. He's about 80 from goal, King, but he's going to hoist this inside 50. They all fly. One grab, two, no mark. And the big flyer there was Nicholas Miller. And then the ball caught underneath with Richie Hazelwood, and it will be a ball up.
So shadows starting to creep across UTAS Stadium in the late afternoon. Been a beautiful day here in Launceston. The wind sort of blowing across the ground at the moment. 35 out from the St Pat's goal. They need 1, 2, 3 in a hurry here. And here's Vandenberg. He'll go short and looks for, finds his teammate there in Harrison. So he might just be too far out to score. Goes back quickly. Harrison, he fancies his chances. Crosses 50 now. Tell you what, it's a decent kick. Has he got it? Touched just before the line. And a behind. 10-10-70 plays. 6 goals, 8, 44. Geez, they're quick on the scoreboard. Great work.
Yeah, sharp as attack there. Ball knocked toward the line by Lawrence, and it'll be a ball in. So back to the three-quarter time margin of 26 points. So another goal or two for St Pat's, but you just don't think that this St Pat's team can get a run on. They haven't been able to do it all day. So Kilby knocks it forward inside 50, shallow inside 50. Also, Tom Johns was the man, the number 29 for Old Scotch. And is that a mark? Yes, it looks like it is. And it's going to Nicholas Miller. So Miller gets the kick away. Up goes Kilby, couldn't take the mark. Mackenzie tries to shrug off the tackle. Got it away. High kick. That was from Josh Matthews. Here's Swallow. Close to the line. He'll want the line if he can get there. Vandenberg. Kept it in nicely. Then away to Harper. Here's Dodds. Dodds with a little reverse check side. And it is run through for a behind by Nicholas Miller. So 25 points to the margin now. St Pat's have had a fair bit of the play just in recent times, Rob, but they haven't been able to get those quick bang-bang goals that they need.
No, and now's where the clock also becomes their enemy as well as the scoreboard. You know, they're running out of time. They need goals quickly, and Scott's very happy just to go through the motions and just work hard and take it through as they did then and rush it behind.
Midway through the final term, 15 minutes played, 25 points the margin. It's been a great second half this by Old Scotch. 10-10 to 6-9. Boundary throw-in just outside 50 for St Pat's. Tapped over the back there by Kilby. Unable to pick it up there was Walsh. Walsh gets another kick now, and the mark's going to be taken in defence, and that's been taken by Jock Dark. So just slowing things down here, Scotch. Thanks to Jeremy Wilkinson and also to MCMF and the Athlete's Foot, our live streaming partners for today and next week as well for the Premier Division Grand Final. We'll be back for that. 4 Grand Finals next week. Hope you can join us. As Williams kicks it long, but it's been cut off. Mark taken by McFadgen. He goes short. Oh, and just a little one to go on with, but just a bit of friendly fire. Connor Bryant, he's kicked 1 goal this afternoon. He's got all the time in the world as he swings around and kicks it towards the attacking 50. Unable to take the mark there. Taking his eyes off the ball there was Lawrence. And immediately tackled Jackson Young. He's been good this afternoon as well for Old Scotch. And we'll get a ball up, playing right into the Thistles' hands here. 16 and a half minutes played. The margin is 25 points.
So from the stoppage, and no one's getting out of there, and the umpire will call for it. You just can't see that St Pat's are going to be able to make a final push here. All players are exhausted, out on their feet, just about all of them. So St Pat's don't have enough spring in their step to be able to get there. Kilby has rucked manfully for them today. Pepper close to the line, and I'll throw it back in.
It's just getting to that point in the game, isn't it, where if you're an Old Scotch player, of course you're going to run it out and play it out, but you're starting to soak it up and realise what you're about to achieve after 9 months of hard work. You know you've got the scoreboard on your side and the clock on your side.
They're starting to dream of Rick Fontaine reading out your name for a premiership medal. Here they go.
Wow.
Through Johnston. Goes out wide. No mark. Well done by Tom Johns. Just stayed in the contest. Fletcher Seymour just feeds it off. And the whistle went, but obviously it was a free kick to Old Scotch. So Bryant over the back, read it nicely. Swallow just tried to provide the shepherd, and Bryant just cleverly kept it in front and then said, oh, well, can't be bothered bending over. I'll just drive the boot into it, and ended up kicking it out of bounds on the full.
Tell you what, looking at the weather, the back end of next week, 23, 22. He could be in for a pretty warm grand final next Saturday.
It's the twilight one too.
It is.
The big one, isn't it?
Yeah, 4 o'clock start. And, clean bowls, Walsh. Chance for Scotch here. He'll swing around onto the right boot he goes. And that was Keach. And he finds Mackenzie, the vice-captain. This would top his day off if he could kick a goal from about 40 out. And this will absolutely, well and truly, at the 18.5-minute mark, if it's not already, the sealer. So, won the MVP. Of course, tomorrow there'll be a live stream you can watch as well of the Division 1 Best and Fairest from 1 o'clock. Will John McKenzie get the double, MVP and Best and Fairest? Here he is, trying to kick his first goal of the afternoon. It's got the legs, but it's just off to the right. So, Michael and Rob, I might leave you guys to it because I better go and get myself ready to go down for the presentations. 19 minutes played. It looks like it's going to be Old Scotch's day.
Yes, certainly looking that way, Rick. I don't know that there's been a bigger comeback from the way we're seeing this game. But St Pat's have been able to just hang in there all day. But there's a reason why Old Scotch are undefeated in this competition, is because they are just able to continue to relentlessly push forward. And there's Mackenzie, knocks it out. Big high kick by Matthews. And Lawrence, drop what he should have taken. Here's another goal, I think. It's Young. He gets his first. Finally gets reward. And it's out to a game-high 32 points. He booted 3 points in the third quarter, Young. But now he gets some reward and he gets his first goal. And Old Scotch are romping away to a premiership here. 11-11-77. St Pat's 6-9-45. And it could be back-to-back today for Old Scotch. They won the reserves and they beat St Pat's. So it'll be a bit of double pain for St Pat's, Rob Soward.
Plenty of zippity-doo-dah to be heard around the NTCA precinct this evening, I'd say, Michael. And well-deserved too after that great victory in the reserves and this what looks like to be a victory here in the seniors to cap off an undefeated season.
Yes, there's Young just popping through his first, and he's been handy for them. Been a big target up forward. Back in the centre, Mackenzie just breaks clear, chips it nicely, finds the man in Jackman. Jackman's kick looking for Seymour. Seymour just spins around. He's tried to wax a bit with Duggan today too. Duggan's kick just went up 25 and down 25. But the umpire said Claridge will be paid the mark. He boots towards Tepper. Tepper on the left boot. Kicks long. Who's over the back? I think it's Barry. He's kicked one in this term. Tries to desperately get a handball away to a teammate. Did that okay. King, he's clever. Did he drop it? Umpire said no. Played on. Kicked his fourth. And I don't think it's coming back. It's not a free kick. So Jake King kicks goal number 4 from him in a losing side, Rob Soward. It's been a pretty handy performance with, at times, limited opportunities for King.
Yeah, look, it's again just showing the character of this St Pat's side. You know, you could look at the scoreboard and say, well, it's all over, we're going to run out of time. But they're just playing through the game. And King's been terrific today, you know, 3 goals early and adding his 4th there. He's a quality player. We talked about, I think, leading the goal kicking a couple of years ago. Premiership player last year. And just full credit to St Pat's for their endeavour and effort in fighting this right out to the death.
Yeah, well, it could have really blown out, I guess, but St Pat's are manfully, as you say, Rob, really trying to run this one out. There's a free kick. Nice, the old coat hanger, as they say, going back in the day. Schultz, Maxi has it at half back. Been handy for them too. Wobbly old kick looking for Mackenzie, who doesn't have an awful lot of zip left in those pins of his, and it rolls out of play.
The exciting thing, I think, too, you know, Michael, as Tasmanians loving our local footy the way we do, there's some names here of players who've had parents before them playing premiership sides. John Mackenzie, we've talked a lot about today. His brother, I think, played in the reserves game today. And his father, Hugh, a state premiership player with Old Scotch in times past.
Brilliant. Good to see the tradition being kept up. The umpire will call for another ball up. How many goals have we got in this term? There's been 4 goals kicked, 2 apiece. Oliver knocks it down. Little handball comes out. Johnston couldn't get there, but the high kick. Vandenberg's read that beautifully. Geez, been impressed with him. Rick Fontaine thought he was probably one of the best players on the field to half-time. Here's Harrison. A real worm-burning kick. Perkins, the handball out looking for King. Stolen away by Dark. Got it out wide. Jackman. Vandenberg just ran past it in the end. Jackman got it back to McFarlane. And now to Seymour Fletcher. As in Fletcher Seymour. And it's been marked by Duggan. Goes out wide to Easto. So just slowing it down. I don't think they really need to do that. They could just keep the foot on, and I think they're playing well enough to be able to kick another goal or 2. So right on the outer side. And there is the siren. And the winners of this Division 1 Grand Final in the men's is Old Scotch. What a performance. They led by 6 points at quarter time, 3 points at half time. The game was anyone's, and then blew it out to 26 in the third term and held on to win this game by 26 points. 11-11 77 to St Pat's 79-51. That quarter going 24 minutes, just the 4 goals kicked. The goal kickers for the winners, so it was Duggan with 3, and then 2 to Swallow and Eastoe, and then singles to Fletcher Seymour, Jackson Young, Connor Bryant and Aidan Jackman. And for St Pat's, 4 goals to Jake King, and then singles to Jacob Lasky, Nathan Barry and Kyle Harper. So a premiership and a double today for Old Scotch. They won the reserves, they beat St Pat's, and they take out the seniors. It'll be a wild old night tonight, Rob Soward, but you've got to look at this this side with Mackenzie, Fletcher Seymour, Swallow. They've got some real stars. Eastoe. You just look at every facet and part of the game. They've just got very, very good players in most positions.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, there's certainly not much between these two sides. They've been the dominant sides of the last couple of years. But as you say, Michael, when you look through this Old Scotch team today, Fletcher Seymour obviously is a recruit coming in this year, brings a lot, you know, elite player at the top level in Tasmanian footy. But it's what they've got out of some of these other guys. John Mackenzie, you know, as we said, done it all, a state representative as a young player. In fact, I think was the Mariners captain. But some of these other players you've called a lot today, like Jackman, I thought his game was terrific. Yep. You had other guys that Charlie Easter, you know, again, almost won the game off his own boot last year. Came up short, but today, despite carrying a bit of an ankle. Jackson Young, I was really impressed with. Last year played, probably didn't have the impact they would have wanted as a tall player. Today he's kicked a goal, a couple of behinds, but he's impacted contests, brought the ball to ground. So, yeah, there's some real terrific signs there. Players like Sam Briggs, you know, do their job. Jimmy DeBoer, we mentioned him in the call, went back and did a job. Did a very good job on King, who was a shining light there. Josh Matthews did some good things today. He's at veteran status now. I saw him before the game today, and he said to me, you know, we want to go one better than last year. So that's exactly what they've done.
Yep, and well, you could see that they were really switched on from the get-go. And like I keep harking back to that grand final last year, and at three-quarter time, it was St Pat's by 19 points, and then at full time 27 points to St Pat's. They really just did fall away. They kicked badly last year, 4-15-39, and this year 50-50, 11 goals, 11-77. Makes a big difference when you can hit targets and when you can actually kick goals, and you can just on shot there you can see the St Pat's players who are just in a huddle there, just having a chat, whilst the Old Scotch, you can hear some cheers away to our left that they've gone down to their fans just to thank them for the support. And they made plenty of noise down there on the half-forward flank, didn't they? Or close to between the wing and the half-forward flank. Yeah. So a lot of people here today because both teams playing in the grand final. Yeah,
terrific support for both. And St Pat's have got nothing to be ashamed about. You know, the premiers from last year, their system, I really love their system. Their defensive efforts are terrific. They're just not their day to day. They were beaten by a better side on the day, and as we've said, you know, a side that's been undefeated all year. But, you know, with what we saw in the reserves, Michael, and what we've seen out there today, there's certainly some great young talent coming through. You know, a proud club, some great people around them. Certainly, you know, and they had plenty of winners today too. Jake King, we talked about. They got a lot out of players at bits and pieces of the game. I really like the look at Tepper, Jordan Tepper. He's been a good recruit for them this year. I thought he was really good. Cairns did some really good things early. Kilby always gives his best. Tom Hilda, the captain. You know, certainly we talked, I think we called Perkins. Dodds, you called him a fair bit. William Vandenberg, I thought, was probably their best in terms of a four-quarter player, but some bright signs there for them. But Old Scotch is day to day, but you can be rest assured the rivalry will continue in years to come. We're about to hear from the Master of Ceremonies, Rick Fontaine.
David Gibson to make a presentation. We'll ask one of our umpires to come forward. Please show our appreciation for umpires today. It was a very, very well umpired game this afternoon, and we'd like to invite one of the representatives to collect the medals from David Gibson. Congratulations, and very well officiated this afternoon by the whole crew. Well done. Now, I'd like to invite coach of St Pat's, Jake Lasky, to come forward and say a few words.
Firstly, I'd just like to thank the umpires for today. Done a great job. I'd like to thank John Kenny and the ground staff for obviously getting us back on the best ground in Tassie. To the Scotch boys, to go through undefeated is an unbelievable effort. I'm sure you will party hard. John led from the front. Fletch, he was a great side. Well done to Kuma. The work you put in from this time last year. Obviously the shoe was on the other foot. This time, it's your time to celebrate, so really well done. Credit to you. Also, all the supporters from both sides. It wasn't always nice to me, but it creates a good atmosphere. So thanks everyone for coming out. To our lads, like I said, the shoe was on the other foot last year. It is footy, it's senior footy. You got to take the good with the bad. Last year was our turn. This year it's the Scotch's turn, so hold our heads up. It's been a good year. We were beat 4 times by a better side, and that was it. All right, so well done, Scotch. Celebrate well.
Thanks very much to Jake Lasky. And well done to St Pat's, been a powerhouse along with Old Scotch for the last couple of years. Time now to announce our David O'Keefe medalist for the best player on the ground today. And David Gibson will be presenting the medal. They'll also receive a $100 voucher from the Athlete's Foot and a $200 voucher from Robbie Sanders from Bar Choice. So a big thank you to both of them for their support. But the winner of the David O'Keefe medal for best on ground for 2023 from Old Scotch, Fletcher Seymour.
Firstly, thanks to St Pat's. You guys are a great rivalry and we love playing against you, so well done on your year. Thanks to everyone who came out today. It's always great to play in front of a big crowd, so that was good fun. Thank you. And lastly, there's so many good people over there and I can't wait to have a beer with you tonight.
Thanks very much. Congratulations to Fletcher Seymour, judge best on ground for today. So we're going to invite NTFA Vice President Damien Jones will present the medallions, and Doc Scott to present the Bogues caps to our premiers for 2023 Old Scotch. And we're going to start with number 1, Fletcher Seymour. After he has a photo. All right, we'll come back to him next. No, here he comes. So get the premiership medallion and also the cap, the Bogues cap from Doc Scott. Next up, number 5, Jock Dark. Number 6, Matthew Duggan. Next up is number 7, Lachlan McFadgen. Number 13, George Oliver. Number 14 is Edward Keach. Number 16, Dougal Morrison. Number 17, Charles Eastoe. Number 19 is next, Jackson Young. Number 20, Ollie McFarlane. Number 23, he was the MVP for Division 1 this year, John McKenzie. Number 24, Connor Bryant. Number 25, Sam Briggs. Number 29, Tom Johns. Number 32, Richie Hazelwood. Number 33, Aidan Jackman. Number 34, James DeBoer. Number 37, Max Schultz. Next up, number 39, Nicholas Miller. Number 48, Joshua Matthews. Number 53, Henry Cornish. And the captain of Old Scotch, number 10, let's hear it for Jonty Swallow. And last but not least, how about the Premiership coach, Brayley Coombs. Congratulations, Brayley. Well done. And you probably want to say a few words, I'm sure.
Firstly, thanks to St Pat's for the contest today. Well done on your season. We're in the same position as you guys last year, so come back hungrier next year, and we look forward to the rivalry continuing. To the NTFA and all their sponsors, thank you for the day you've put on today and allowing the competition to run so well. To the umpires, thank you very much. I think they've gone, but well done on your season. To our football club and our sponsors, thank you so much for all you do. We've got such a terrific committee led by Jim Dennis and Lucy Flanagan over there. And I don't think we can forget the hard work that John Bales put in over the last few years as well. So thank you very much. To my wife and family, thanks for all you allow me to do, but most importantly, how you embrace these boys. And I know deep down Tanya loves you boys a lot more than she loves me, I reckon. So thank you very much. To all of our members, supporters, just thanks so much for turning out in the numbers that you have today, and I hope you're as proud of these boys as I am. To my right-hand man, Gregory Breward over there, thanks for all you do, mate. Lastly, but not leastly, if that's a word, the playing group, ably led by my playing assistant coach, Fletcher Seymour. You've done a terrific amount of work and thoroughly deserved with the best on ground and the premiership. Our leaders, John D. Swallow, John McKenzie, Jock Dark, Charlie Easto. I love you guys like brothers. It's just you're great to coach. I don't think I've forgotten anyone, but I reckon there's someone pretty special looking down on us today, and I reckon this one's for Sosa.
Well done, mate. Congratulations. Well said. Remembering the great Sauce Price. All right, couple of presentations to make now, and I'm going to invite David Gibson to come forward to present the Premiership flag for 2023, and we'll invite the Old Scotch President to come forward, Jim Dennis, to accept that. Well done, Jim. We'll get you to unfurl the 2023 Premiership flag that's heading down to the NTCA ground. Well done, Jim. Congratulations. Thanks very much. Well done, Jim. And one final duty now. We'll invite Matt Harvey, club legend from Old Scotch Collegians Football Club, to come forward. And Brayley Coombs and Johnny Swallow, if we could get you guys up onto the stage to accept the 2023 Premiership Cup for the NTFA Division 1 that is going to Old Scotch. So congratulations to Old Scotch Collegians. Well done to St Pat's on a great year as well. Thank you very much for coming out. Don't forget the Premier Division Grand Final next Saturday here at UTAS Stadium. And for those interested in Division 1, the best and fairest count for Division 1, it will be live streamed tomorrow afternoon from 1 p.m. if you want to watch that as well. So the best and fairest coming up tomorrow at 1 o'clock.
Well, there are the presentations from the 2023 Division 1 Grand Final. And the premiership going to Old Scotch, 11-11-77 to 7-9-51. Fletcher Seymour, the best on field. I think we were all in unison on that. I guess the only other player that might have just bobbed up there could have been Mackenzie, who was outstanding. But it was a wonderful win to Old Scotch. They doubled up and they won the reserves. They won the reserves grand final over St Pat's as well. So it'll be a wild old night for Old Scotch and their supporters tonight. So a brilliant game of footy, really good game of footy. It threatened to blow out there for a while, but 26 points is probably a good margin. I think it was it 22 points in the second semi, I think. And they just seem to be, Rob Soward, just a goal or two, 3-4 goals. They just seem to be able to hold control of the game.
Yeah, it's a great assessment, Michael. I mean, there wasn't much between them, as you've said, all season, other than that one blowout game. And today, St Pat's just came out and threw everything at them early, as they had to do, set themselves off to a good start. But the class and the strength and probably the balance of the Old Scotch team, if you looked across their 22, you'd say, on average, probably stronger across that. They batted a little bit deeper, and they certainly got a lot out of the Mackenzies and obviously the Seymours as well. So, a great game and fantastic community football to see so many people here today. We'll be back here again next weekend, Michael.
We will, certainly.
We've got day 2, but I know that our listeners and viewers will be very interested in this, so I'm just going to give you an update. And I know you will be surprised, as I will, when I read out that at the moment, Rochalie are 11-8-74, South Launceston 2-5-17.
Gee, that is the margin's the thing, I guess. I mean, both the teams, as we spoke to you guys earlier through the call of this game, that both teams have been very, very good this year. But South Launceston, that would be a bitter blow for them. They haven't been able to get it done on a really important day in a prelim final. So, it's all looking like a... was it a Rochalie Hillwood grand final for next week?
East Tamar, the eastern side of the Tamar. But interestingly, again, and I know you and I ran into each other up at Youngtown when we covered the game up there a few weeks ago, and South Launceston were playing some terrific footy.
Did.
So I know looking very dangerous. So really looking forward to being back here with you and with Rick next week for day 2 of the NTFA carnival, as it is.
Yeah, just saw the way South Launceston moved the ball that day against Bracknell, I think it was, and it was something to behold. They really did move the ball well, and they'll be disappointed because I think their best is good enough to make a grand final. It doesn't always work that way. We'll just wrap it up now from UTAS Stadium. I'll just quickly run through the goal scorers in this game. And Old Scotch 11-11-77 beating St Pat's 7-9-51. Goal scorers for Old Scotch. Matthew Duggan got 3, and then 2 to Jonty Swallow and Charles Eastoe, and then singles to Fletcher Seymour and Jackson Young, along with Connor Bryant and Aidan Jackman. And for St Pat's, it was 4 to Jake King, and then singles to Jacob Lasky and Nathan Barry, along with Kyle Harper, I think, kicked their first goal of the day. That's about it from UTAS Stadium. Thanks very much to Jeremy Wilkinson from Harcourts, Launceston, and also Murdoch Clark Mortgage Fund, Launceston and Hobart, and the Athlete's Foot Brisbane Street Mall for their support of the NTFA. Thank you, Rob Soward. Thanks also to Rick Fontaine and all the guys from Roundtable here that have got it done. But in the end, it is a premiership to Old Scotch, 11-11-77 to St Pat's 7-9-51. We'll see you next week for the Premier League.